Well, the guy got a lot to me. Uh, the closing argument lot. Tomalin, where you at? So, guy, we lie. I can't hear no sound.
Though.
Okay, we here.
All
Well,
right, so
gentlemen.
we try to see our best we can link up with for the team. Right here for you on the program tonight. The closing argument. Uh, Peabody is already waiting. And see my Chief Tomalin is trying to come on. So let's see what we can bring it on from our end.
Okay, you can hear me, right? Okay, some folks are hearing me. Christian Roberts.
Are you guys getting us?
Yes, I can hear you guys very clear.
Yeah, we're not getting the audio from all yet.
Yeah,
Check the sound system there. So I'm here tonight alongside for Heron. My name is Ansu. So I'm here alongside for Heron. It's a very tight team here. So we are here together tonight on the closing argument here. So we are trying to see our best we can get audio. We're not really getting the sound out from the team. All right. So
yeah, we can hear you guys, except you guys not hearing us here. But I mean, we can hear you clear.
you know, link up with the guys as they wait on us to bring them
Yeah.
on the program right here tonight. So let's see.
Okay, Christian Roberts is hearing us.
What I get them on. The sound
The
is
guys
not
are
coming.
hearing us. So, yeah. So we still waiting. They're still trying to make the adjustment. You know, the internet issue and
Yes.
all of that.
All right.
Yeah.
So how will you?
You can hear me?
How we while we are trying our best to see how best we can get the guys through because they are on, but we're not getting audio. So go for a break. One my technician. Yeah, check my sound system.
Okay. Well, if you so guys, just stay tuned. We'll be with you. Just stay tuned. I know the guys are still adjusting the set. It's a lot going on, but just stay tuned. Uh, we'll be with you shortly. We'd like to welcome everybody, man. They're still adjusting sound, so I mean, if you're watching, just sit tight. I'll just go. If you can hear me, just say you hear me. If you can hear me, just write in just on the live feed, just so you can hear me. Uh, uh, uh. Christian Roberts, say him here live. Big Smoke, Gotti Williams. I'm watching from Sydney, Australia. Wow, man, great time, great. Thank you for watching us, buddy. Edwin Swa,
Uh, we need to check.
say good afternoon from my end.
There's there
He
is a
hearing.
problem
Okay, Christian
somewhere.
Roberts say he hearing. Yeah, watching. So
Yeah,
guys,
we're not really getting the audio. Yeah,
just sit tight. We'll soon be coming back on.
the audio. So
You know, this happens sometimes. You know.
so let's see whether it can come through the audio.
Oh yeah, when you're talking, udah masalah sih. Asing.
So Peabody, are you getting me?
Very clear. Very clear. Very clear.
Okay. So now yeah, so we're getting audio from our end now.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
we're getting audio from our end now. Thanks to the team. Thanks to Henry and Henry and I now are going to be running it from our end here for the main studio here at Truth FM Many thanks to the nation. Thanks to hearing the rest of the guys. So as I said, folks, it is at the closing argument. So it's time now to cross over to the team and join hearing Peabody and the rest of the guys in the closing argument here on Truth FM.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, man. You guys doing a great job. We appreciate it a whole lot of the work that you guys do. Tomalin is joining us, and we're looking forward to continue the show. But you guys are amazing. We want to thank you guys for continuing to bring the message to the Liberian people. We'd like to welcome all our viewers from far and near, as far as Sydney, Australia. You know, Edwin Kura is here. James Kayete is watching. Yumtra Kringa is watching. Yumtra Kringa is watching. Miss Yumtra Kringa is watching from Minnesota. Thompson Balls, yes, from all the way Sydney, Australia. And Michelle Dayu from Minnesota. Thank you, guys. We'd like to welcome you. You know, we're just coming on, so we ask that you just share this. Look, one great way you can make this show more popular as it is getting is to share it and you know, if you're in a group chat, you know, just put it right there. That's what I do. I place it in a lot of group chat, and a lot of people watching, thousands of people watching from all over the world watching the closing argument. We'd like to welcome you guys, my friend. We'd like to welcome everybody. Ms. Asata Dawson from Maryland, USA. Welcome, Asata. McDonough Gadier. Welcome, everybody. Tonight, we're looking forward to the very exciting show. A lot's going on. The government released their budget. They had made a whole video on the budget, what they cut down, and what they added it to. You know, what was cut, what was increased. We want to have a team of panelists here tonight to dissect everything when it comes to the budget. But we would like to welcome you guys, and also there's a team Liberia that is representing the country in to the All African Games in Ghana, Accra, Ghana, and I understand it's been amazing. It's been amazing. The Liberia team is doing an awesome job. Awesome job they are doing, and we like to congratulate Team USA. They are representing Liberia. I believe the men they gone up to the 400 meters. They gone to the finals, the 400 meters. So that is a major achievement for the Liberian team. We are very excited for those young people who are representing the country, and they are flying the flag of Liberia. That is amazing, and we'd like to congratulate all the great people on that team. But yes, it's a lot happening. Just continue to share the video. Just continue to share. It's a lot happening today. In Liberia, the government has released their budget. They have cut down even up to the president's salary. I mean, the president budget. A lot. The speaker budget. A lot was cut. So what is in there for the Liberian people? What is in there for Civil 7? What Civil 7 salary increase? What is in there for? We're going to break it down tonight. Our team will be with us shortly. So we just want to welcome you guys. Let me see what I can call some names again. I see Miss Winifred Smith is also joining us as well from Maryland. You know, I'm just gonna go back over the list and just recognize because you guys are very important people. So we like to recognize you. Christian Roberts, Big Smoke, Gaudet Williams from Australia, Edwin Swa. Say good evening from my end. Miss Yamtra Kringa watching from Minnesota. Christian Roberts also watching. Where is also watching. Wisse Jigbe Wisse is watching as well. Welcome, guys. Edwin Crow, big friend, our big brother, is watching from all the way Delaware. James Kayete, one of our friends, he follows us everywhere we go, and we love you, Jim. We appreciate you. Thompson Boss, good to see you. Michelle Dow, good to see you as well. McDonough Gadier, good to see you. Watching from all the way Kentucky, my brother. Good to see you, McDonough. Hey, I think we hooked up the last time I was there, man. Good guy. Anna Tiller, he's watching from the Michigan, USA. And Elizabeth Bowen is watching as well. Winnie Fresh Smith, as usual. and the rest. So, guys, welcome to the closing argument, guys. I mean, what's going on in Maria? You care to share with us what's going on? You guys are in the studio, so why not share with us what's going on?
Yeah. So the what you said, you talk about the budget aspect. Is it the training topping for the pies for the past, I think, or day now or hours now. So point of discussion, and in every quarters, and you twist and turn. Here we have Liberians discussing the budget, especially um, to some area which were cut, and some area which in terms of the increasement too also been discussed. And late yesterday afternoon, a member of the coalition, he was on um, one of our sister program, not our sister program, our sister radio station in town. That's Freedom FM, in terms of the former commission there for Maritime. Let's use now. We can talk about the EPS, the Executive Protective Service. Since we talk about them, and then in a very short time they release a very strong press statement. Indeed, well, the Executive Protective Service, the EPS, has broken silent on the reason, it was training in media on the former president protection.
Okay.
So that so they came of a very strong press statement now. In terms of it's not it's not compulsory. It's not something by law where when it comes to provide um, security to the former presidents, indeed. But they have provided security for former president Riyadh. So they came up with a very strong press statement and trying to, I think they were trying to either maybe condemn the statement from the Len Eugene Nambit, because he was on another radio, Freedom FM, yesterday, when he talked about it. When it comes to the former president protection, what he really pressed on it, he said how the security system already acting very reluctant on it, and they were waiting up to the end of this month if they cannot see any quick reaction in terms of security, a well-built security team to the former president, meaning that they were going to in terms of providing their own security, either Liberians or the partisan for the CDC were going to protect the former president. So the EPS spokesperson, Fede Moore, addressed concern raised by politicians and journalists, clarifying that there is no legal provision for EPS to provide bodyguards for former president and vice president. He also commented on the termination of EPS agents due to prolonged absence from work. Someone was assigned with the former VIP, that is vice president and president. But right after the transitional time, I think someone left the country. They traveled. Yeah, so up to this time, they haven't returned yet, and no one knows whether they will come back. So they went through the system and said that, but since we cannot get the guys back, they're not coming back to work. So their contract also have been terminated by the government. So these are just some of the training issues on the ground, and the budget too came into it. So as I said, every quarters you twist and turn, you have Liberians gathering now, the motorcyclists, the Ghana balls into the market area, the guys into the Atai shops and other stuff now. They're discussing it now when it comes to the budget aspect. But one thing that Eugene said yesterday, I think he said that it's almost like maybe copy and paste or what. That's what he was saying. When he was saying that there were just few things that were just, he wish that this government just did in the current budget. There's just few things that did. Either they just added some things, subtracted some things, but that's the same format. That's the same style from the former finance minister, that is a summer toy.
Wow, that's interesting. There's a lot happening, but as I said, the team will be here soon, and everybody will get into that discussion. But Tomalin George is here. Welcome, brother Tomalin George. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, yes, guys. Good to be back, and on the closing argument, like you said, a lot's going on in the country. The Walker administration finally submitted the draft budget to the legislature for the approval, and already they're already on. I see the Walker folks are already running with the budget and showcasing it, but they say a lot is in the pudding though. Like for instance, so but we'll be discussing it. I've been trying to get the former finance minister to come. Hopefully, he will respond, and we'll see what we can do. But it would take the real financial people to come and break it down to the Liberian people about this budget, and that I see the Boga folks are running with and already claiming victory on the victory lap or what, but they're already moving on. But if you really look into the budget, you know that the Peabody said they cut down the budget for the presidency, which is a good thing. The vice president, the speaker, the pro tem, the deputy speaker, the legislature was slashed. But the question is, if you look at the mantra the UP President Boga ran on, the question would be, what was increased for civil servants, nurses, teachers, police, and all I can tell you is all 0, 0, 0. Nothing will increase for them. So these are the people that they said they came to rescue. So, but they just by the slashing the budget, you would think that they would say, well, civil servants will have increment in their salaries, and nurses and teachers and police, but that's not the reality. But we'll get into that later. But anyway, also, I know there have been a story about central bank moving money in containers and so forth. I've been on that case all day, and it's not true. The 54th legislature approved the printing of new bank notes, and what they did, they printed some of the bank notes and infused it in the economy prior to the election. I mean, before or during the Weir administration. I am the Weir administration, but they did not take all the money they printed. They never brought it into the country. So during the transitional period, they work along with the incoming administration. They were informed that they still have bank notes out of the country that they were going to bring as soon as things settle down. So that was the same money that were approved by the last legislature. So that's why you saw in the container, but it wasn't like secret container was coming in the country with money and so forth. I've been trying to, and I got all the documents to that effect. So, and that's how I got to know that is not in clandestine operation. So just to make that clarification. But besides that, also the president, I think he held his first National Security Council meeting today with all his top security folks. The Justice Minister in the meeting, I think the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Defense, the Acting Defense Minister, and so forth. All the top security institutions were represented in the meeting with the Security Council meeting. Well, it's good to always hold this kind of a meeting and to make sure you know where the country is, where the position of the country in terms of national security. But we're still trying to find out what the outcome of that National Security Council meeting. Yes, and also, I know last night before we went to bed, we got information that there are plans by some people in the legislature. As I say, I hope it is a rumor. I hope it's not true, but we've already seen it on social media. There are some members of the legislature, some colleagues of Representative Koluba trying to expel him because he being blasting at the president. And I think that would be foolhardy for any member of the legislature to undertake such an initiative to try to expel Representative Koluba. I don't think it would be the right way. So I hope it is not true. Hope what we are reading in the press is just mere rumor, and it's not true at all, because it will not go down well. I can tell you for that. And also, like things Ansu said, the former maritime boss Eugene Langbe, he was on one of the local radio stations, and he came out fiery. They accused the Boga administration of trying to assassinate President Weah on an aircraft that were bringing him the other day, and talked about the security issue. And what I gathered too was that even though the EPS gave President Weah security detail, but what it did, they gave older folks, aging EPS people. Most of the guys are about to retire. That's what they assigned to the former president. And the former president said, nah, until he rejected it. You can't assign me old folks who come and protect me. And then I don't know who will be protecting. So I think he rejected that. And that it makes sense because you don't want to, how you give somebody older people to come protect the person? The older people need protection. Most of the people are about to retire. So, but yes, Eugene Nagbo will be joining us. It will come. He has agreed to come on the closing argument. We're just going to arrange a time and a date, and he will be able to double down on his interview. But from my end, Peabody, that's how far I think we've gone right now. But let's see what happens. Hopefully,
a
comment.
lot happening because I'm very interested in that budget. I hear some things were taken off and some things were increased, but there are some areas that I was looking at that the civil servant salary did not go up. It did not go up at all, and some other things did not even happen. So I don't know exactly what's happening or what folks are saying, but it's very interesting, And then also, as you relate to the president, the former president, that he's not happy with the EPS that was given him. They gave him a lot of almost retiring folks who should be retiring. He's not happy. I think when it comes to the security, even just myself, I would want people around me who I'm comfortable with, who I feel that I'm safe with, not just anybody can come up, to protect me. I think even with the Secret Service in America, the U.S. The president will sometimes request about who he wants, and those people follow the president even after his term. The Secret Service are assigned to those people probably for the rest of their life and things like that. But I don't know how the EPS work, but I think the president, he said every former president, first president, then Barker at the time as vice president, they have EPS assigned to him. President Sirleaf has. And I think when it comes to that, I don't think politics need to be played around that. It's important that the president get the security that he needs. When it comes to the politics, I don't think anything should be played around that. He's the former president of Liberia, and he should be treated with dignity and pride as well. Like in the how Phoebe Bogart was treated, he had his entire EPS team that went with him everywhere. So I think it's very, very important. The issue with Yeke, I think Liberian people just need to. I think the folks in the house need to just focus on what they need to do to help the people. They need to focus on what they would do to help the legislature. But you cannot come out and say you expel him. What his name Yeke have been the same. I would say yesterday and today, been the same. And criticizing the government, making this comment. They all were there when Yeke would make comments about President Weah and saw President Weah. Where were they at the time? They employed. They were happy. I'm not saying it's right to insult the president. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but we know this is Yeke and this is how he operates. But you want to expel somebody from the house because he expelled somebody, I don't think it makes sense. I don't think they need to even focus on that. They need to focus on what are some of the things they ran on how they can help change or better the lives of the Liberian people or the people in the district that they ran on so profoundly, that they would do this, they would do that. They need to do that as well. But then sit there and focus on things that are not even of any essence. It doesn't sit well with me. I think it's important that they focus on bringing results and bringing relief to the Liberian people. I think that's what it should be focused on, not just sitting there and trying to make that big mouth spell you. That's not the focus right now to spell you. Okay? The focus now is to bring change, and they need to run for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, Grace, welcome though. Welcome.
Thank you, Tomalin.
Yeah, but
Hi,
it,
Dr.
Good to see
Peter.
you, Grace.
go
Good to
ahead,
see you. Good to see you.
go ahead, Grace. You're saying
No,
something?
Tomalin, I was just saying thank you for welcoming me.
Oh,
And it's nice to be on the platform. I would like to say thank you to all the people that are watching and all our Liberian people that committed to the platform and are here every day. Thank you all the time that we are on, actually. Thank you so much.
yes. In the budget, right? As we just get going and people come and join us. President Boyga, yes, he did. What I noticed in the budget, my own observation is that he increased the wage bill. That means he increased the government payroll from $296.476 million, which is 38.4% of the budget, to $297 million. That's 43% of the budget. Now, okay, the UDP budgets, they claim that they were total reduction of $49 million. They claim but there's a total increases or amount allotted is $22 million. Okay, they say they reduce about, we notice an increment of 22 million, and there's a difference of 27 million. The question is, where is the 27 million being applied? So, but one of the things you take a look at is the domestic debt and international obligations. It grew from 42 million and 10 million respectively. So the question needs to be asked. Yeah. In the reduction, okay. The president was budget was 20 million, but GMB says his budget now being decreased to 9 million. The former vice president was 4.4 million. Now the current vice president 2.2 million. They reduce it. The former vice reduced from 4 million to 2 million. The legislature, that's where I know that where they're going to have problems. The legislature will fight. I know they will fight the executive because their budget was 67 million. They have now decreased to 38 million. So you know that it will be a fight. Because now they are the one who's going to make appropriation with the money. So you know that they won't accept this. They will fight. But let's see what happens. We'll get our popcorn and watch them. We'll see what happens. The pro tem used to get 4 million. Now it's reduced to 1.2 million. The speaker used to get 2.2 million. Now it's been reduced to 1.6 million. Okay, and then the deputy speaker used to get 1 million, but now they have given him 515,000. Now the increases, they increased Ministry of Education from 98 million to 105 million. University of Liberia, they increased from 30 million to 32 million. The agriculture, okay, which is part of the agenda of President Boyka, it increased from 4 million to 5 million. That's a little bit having problem with that one too. And the health sector, 64 to 75. Now, all these things are all good things, increment. But the question we're asking, okay, like the question that I've been asked, increasing education budget is good, very good. I welcome it. University of Liberia is good. Health Ministry, good. Okay, even the office of the president, all the things decreasing their budget is all good. But the money that you took, when you cut this money from these various line item, where you allocate it? You say you put it to education, to health, but then what happened with civil servants? Because civil servants said the former government harmonized their pay, so they said they're going to increase their pay, but nothing there for civil servants. The nurses, nothing. Teachers, nothing. Police, nothing. But then they put most of the money on domestic debt. So that means if the government owe Grace money so that I will be servicing that debt. So we owe Grace for renting one of her building, we owe Grace for so thing, we'll be paying Grace money. So they're prioritizing paying domestic debt right now than taking care of the bread and butter issue in the country. So you see, and then the foreign obligation, which is good. have an international obligation. We must come clean to come up with the middle of the arrears. But a lot of questions will be asked. Yes. So, but guys, that's what we are. Gwen, the education ministry, the budget, they used to get 98 million, but they increased it to 105 million. But you guys can weigh in. That's where we are so far.
There are some areas that, one thing you said that the wage bill will increase by what, $22 million? Is that what you said? Tony, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
So you said the wage bill will increase by 22 million?
The wage bill, okay, from 296.4 to 297 to 297.
Increase it by about 2 million or something like that.
It was 38.4% of the budget, but now it's now 43% of the budget. So most of the money is going on salaries and things,
Wow. I think education, I think the percentage for education and health, I think it's small. I mean, to be honest,
But even agriculture, from 5 million, from 4 years, only 1 billion agriculture.
Yeah. It's really not going to make a lot of difference. I mean, increasing the wage bill, those money could have gone to the health sector. Our health sector is deplorable. Very much deplorable.
Come and help us here tonight. Like that is, break the
maybe Professor Kennedy will come, but Grace, can you imagine?
Grace Wayne, what do you think?
Deplorable our health sector is, and you only adding that small amount of money to the health sector, the education, and you expect results. I don't know, Grace. Chime in on this.
I just think that increasing the wage bill, it means that maybe they have more employees added to the government, employees, or they just made more people's salary higher than it was. That's the reason why they increased the wage bill. Because as we see that Waka government hire more people compared to President Weah government. That's why I'm noticing now. So maybe that's the reason why they increase the wage bill to maybe for employee salaries and benefit for the employee. But it's going to affect the country in a way. Although the spending would be good because of that, but there will be inflation in the country because they increase the wage bill is not managed properly. So what I want to say is that they could allocate some of those money to go to maybe the entertainment industry, because you have to find a way to make more money in the country. It's just paying people salaries all the time and giving the government employee benefits. It's not going to help the economy. It's not going to help the economy. So what strategy do they have in place? Or, I let Professor Kennedy come because I'm not a budget person, but just from a layman point of view, for budgeting your household, what strategy do they have in place to actually increase more money, like making money in the country for the regular people to be able to survive at this point in time? Because the budget is just set up to benefit the government employees, especially those in higher position, by increasing the wage bill. That's why you see most of our government officials, they come to America 5-6 times a year because they make so much money. But what other things in this budget that they have there that would benefit maybe it could benefit the private sector too? It can benefit, which is the entertainment industry, maybe the guy that West Point area. One day I was standing in the finance ministry and I was looking down into West Point area from one of the big government official office, doing business with them, doing I think Ellen Johnson at the time. And the place looks so beautiful, but everything there rusty, old. And I was thinking, I was like, I don't know why they can't invest into that. Make that place a beautiful area. The island is there, so more people when they come to Liberia, they will be it will be under the government. It will be they will be running those places. To be able to pump more money into that to help the economy to really boom up, instead of just always the whole Liberia, the government always just the wage bill, the employees making money, and they go to work, the better can go to work, they leave at 12. And it's just that's how the government be running from time to time. Balanced time, it was a little bit different, a little bit there was this hope there but then it all shambles again. And then now we come to Bwaka government. We're not seeing anything ready, put in place at this point in time for us to even check on the amount of the effort that he has put in a few days, in a few weeks that he has been president already. So it's not looking good for Liberia. Seriously, the budget is so depressing. I can't. The budget is so big, you can't even finish reading it. Or increasing their wage bill it will help them to have consumer spending in the country, but in the long run, there will be higher taxes, inflation if they're not managed carefully. And when I say that, I just want Dr. Kennedy to come in, Mr. Kennedy, I mean Professor Kennedy to come in, clarify, because that's how I feel. That's how I feel comes to that. So it's not looking promising for the government and the people for the next few years to come. These people need to go back to the drawing board and sit and get professional people who can actually do this work to really lead them into promoting and helping our economy and helping the country to move forward. Because it's apparent now to us that the people that these people really don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah. So.
Yeah, the thing is, one thing that Professor Kennedy said he's on, he will be with us in the next 20 minutes. But one thing is that, and what we notice is that the first thing you understand, and this has been the trend in Liberia. It's not only this government. All the government have done it. NSA is that's where they usually do all the because you cannot audit NSA. You cannot, because they have a covert operation that they do. You can't find out where the money going. So if you notice, President Boaga ordered, he requested to audit NSA, but then last week he issued a statement, said no more auditing NSA. They cut it off right away. NSA are being cut off. Oh yes, no auditing NSA. They cut it off. They stopped auditing NSA. They cut it off.
Oh, but did they say why? Because you can't just.
But look at NSA budget. You see how much they put that for NSA? I think $11 million. Check NSA budget. I think.
Why are they paid to be dividing the money and money? I say,
that's why people gotta open their eyes. Look, like I said earlier, let me be clear. Cutting the president's budget from 20 million to 9 million, fine, no problem. It's good. We welcome it. The vice president, the speaker, the deputy speaker, all the people, good. But the money they cut that was done, you should put in prioritize it. Put more money into education, health, agriculture, fine. But then also to the civil servant, like the teachers, the nurses, the doctors, the police, the people that go to work every day. Put most of the money in towards the pay, but nothing, zero. Civil servants zero, nurses zero, teachers zero, police zero. So, but you took the most of the money you cutting, put it in domestic debt. That means you come and pay your friends there. If I want to those who supported you, and you say, okay, I supported your junior campaign, government owe me money, so you pay my money now. Like domestic debt, you start paying. Yes.
Yeah.
My question is, Tomalin, if the president ran his campaign on agriculture. You remember? That's why he ran his campaign on, because he said that that's his area, of expertise and everything. And then for them to leave agriculture out and give them
agriculture was 4 million, you only put 1 million there. Make it 5 million. You need to put 1 million.
That.
And safety and security is so important in the country. For any country, for you to have investors into that country, you have to make sure the police are ready. That's what you were talking about. The police is, that sector of the government. Look at what police officers are working with dirty uniform on. They don't do recertification at all. They don't have any training going on, no preparedness for them to be able to tackle or maybe, when something happened in the country, so they can be hands on it. Like the way they beat that old lady, they were not even hands on it. There is no investigation at this point, except I don't know. So all those things, because they're left behind, they don't have enough money in the budget to help the people in that sector. And this is really is bad for the country, because if people are seeing that the country is not safe, most people will not want to come home to invest into the country. A lot of Liberians in the diaspora they have money. They want to go to Liberia to invest. First thing is they think about their safety. Okay, when I go there, is everything okay? When something happens, if I call the police, maybe 911, will they be able to come? How can they come? Most of the police officers are not trained. And we and most time in every government sector you work in the world, they do training and every 6 months. They retrain you. Or most of the police officers are supposed to be even recertified. Means that they're going for training. They will recertify them in different areas of what they are doing within that police department, so they can be ready. Their uniforms of the police is not even looking good. Most of them, they were not really trained to handle situation with all shooting somebody, then killing them or beating them up, because there's so many ways the police can come in and interview you and talk to you when something happened, that you'll be able to open up to. So we need all those things to happen. If you're not putting more money from the budget in those areas, how our people will be able to get trained and be able to help the country in that light? And that's my question.
And that's a very good point. But yes, the money you are cutting and taking from the president, the speaker, other places, where are they going? Where's the money going? You're not cutting it to bring relief, but you're cutting it to put it somewhere. And plus, if you increase the wage bill and you hire more people, it means the partisans were there, or the partisans, as I call them. You're giving them a job. You're creating that opportunity there, putting that money to give them job. And the domestic debt, it could be that they have credit from a lot of people during the election. They put it in that area so they can pay them back and all of that. So I mean, it's a lot that is going on, but I'm disappointed that the healthcare of our country, healthcare should be even up to 200 up to 250 million dollars. The healthcare of our country, because we know our healthcare is a complete mess. People die in that country for even curable diseases, illnesses and stuff like that. People die, and you cannot the budget, the agriculture ministry, that should be really opening the door to food and other things, helping Liberians grow their own rice and other stuff. You did not even add enough money there. Our agriculture sector is, can you imagine we go to Guinea to buy things like pepper and stuff like that? We don't have it. Rice, we can't even grow our own rice in our country. So what else would be going on? We can't even grow our rice. We can't even grow certain commodities in the country. So it's very sad. It's really, really sad, on the budget. I applaud the fact that you cut down from the president down to the speaker, the deputy speaker, pro tem, and all of that. I applaud the fact that you cut down. But did the money go to key areas that we needed? We desperately needed? Nobody tell me that we don't need money in our healthcare sector. We saw how people die. Nobody tell me that we don't need money for security or our education. You see how the University of Liberia, even the high school, go to one of the best high school, the public high school in our country. It used to be Tottenham High School. But go to Tottenham High School today and see the kind of condition that the children have to learn on it. I visited Tottenham High School once, a beautiful place where it was even, I used to call it a technical high school. I didn't go to Tottenham High, but I used to see what they offer, a bunch of courses. Very good school. And go see what Tottenham High turned into today. It had turned into a complete, I hate to say mess, but it's not good. And our primary, secondary education is very bad in our country. And they should have invested more money there. Education, health, and the police.
Emmerich Benson, the coach junior. I sent the link. If you get a chance, come help us make some sense with this budget, please. That's your area of expertise. So come help us make some sense. But look, the fight we should watch is the legislature. They cut the budget from 60. Let me see. Yeah, they cut the budget from. Yeah, I think from 68 to 37 million. They cut it, a big slash for them. Okay, now they cut the budget. But now what I'm hearing now, the lawmakers are saying that they are trying to. They are what they're going to. They want to do. They want to put every county should be given $500,000 for developmental purposes. So, yeah, it's a good idea, right? But the only thing is that if you allocate $500,000 for every county, that's about $7.5 million for the counties. But they shouldn't put it in the lawmakers' hand to say, oh, the caucus should go and decide what happened to the money. That money should be put forward to the county. They get the county, the superintendent and the county and the citizens of the county. They can meet and they can have that meeting and say, look, we have $500,000 in this budget for the county. What is your way and pleasure? What we should do with the money? You'll come to that understanding. Well, you shouldn't put that money and say, oh, county legislative caucus. Because all you find out, they will take that money and get divided among themselves and say they carry on their own project. They won't say, I can't project in my district. I can't project anyone. You know? Yeah. Majority of them, not all of them, because I can tell you for a fact, Musa Belede is far ahead of them. He already doing projects, even before budget come to him, said he already carried on projects. The bridge that he even constructed, that place been cut off from Liberia, from Nima for almost 50 years. But I visited that place. Now he has put a bridge there now. People can now drive on it instead of taking that one old stuff they had there where you got to pour it before you carry you across. But Musa Belede made the place accessible. You can drive there now and link that area together. So he's far ahead of them. But most of these people now, they fight. Why they fight? Because the reason why the legislature have been so attractive, everybody want to run to be a lawmaker because of the perks they've been getting over the years. So now, by then cutting the money in half, you know they're going to fight. You're going to fight. You're going to fight.
If they so for the people, why would they be fighting? The president did the right thing to cut the money in half because they have not been doing anything substantial that people have seen in these different districts and nothing there. I mean, that's why Dr. Peabody was saying, especially when it comes to the healthcare sector in maybe the education, because the foundation, the education that we got from Liberia, our foundation was strong. Look at he was talking about the elementary, about the government school places, that demonstration. People came from that school, you know, people that went to demonstration schools, some of them right now in this country, they are engineer doctors because that foundation was strong. So it gave them the weight to be able to study and, you know, and show themselves approved, as the Bible says, and be able to graduate with all these high degrees in America and working in good places. So the thing is that I don't understand why the legislature are so, if they will fight, why would it be upset? You know, they went there to make the country great. They went there to pass law and better the nation. They did not go there so much about the money. That legislature never even had money before. People were there and they were still making good laws for the country and everything. So right now, I don't think they should have a problem with it. I think the president, they are cool. I think he should have cut it into 25%. Sir. I don't know why he just cut it into half. He should have made it even lower than that. Because they use that place now to go and make money, share, you know, build big houses, or send their children to good schools while the other people's children suffer, and able to travel out of the country when they're sick. That's why they don't have time to even make sure that the clinics in the different districts are effective. The nurses there are trained. They're not making sure none of those things. They just said they collect the money and share among themselves, and it need to change. So I applaud President Barker for that.
Look at the chairman here. The chairman there. I heard the chairman. All of them part of they all have to push the budget. But good, and Sylvester Peewee, all these guys are here tonight. They will help them make sense of this budget. So yeah, I want to welcome you guys again, man. Chairman, we've been talking offline since the last 24 hours. So I know. I mean, you can share your thoughts with the Liberian people. Emmerich, thank God you're here, man. That's what you went to school for, to play with numbers. So help make sense with numbers. And so Mr. Peewee, policy man, you guys help make sense with the numbers. So guys, you guys can weigh in, man.
So we go first. Do I go first?
No, Chairman, you go first. I would only hear you content.
Hello, guys. Well, first of all, it's good to be here. Sorry, you know, I'm still trying to get used to this
hybrid work model. When you've been working remote, and then they come with a hybrid foolishness. Well, it's not foolishness. That means not say that. So yeah, you got to try to get adjusted. But listen, guys, the budget is out. I think, like we really said, Tomalin, we've been holding consultations and talking about this. Listen, my initial reaction to the budget when I saw because I see anything that you see the other side, the government side, is immediately in spin mode. It means the devil is in the details, and it's almost like they have a acceleration. They're accelerating. They're at a huge speed because they know when people dig deeper into the budget, there all these questions will start to arise. So what they're doing is they're doing what they do best, right? What they obviously believe the Liberian people. First of all, Liberians, we don't like to read. At least a good bit of us don't like to read. They say when you want to hire something from Liberian men, or most Liberian men, or Liberian person, many Liberians, just write it down. Put it in a book or something, or write it in pull a lot of documents together. You can definitely be rest assured that it's not they're not gonna be able to see it. So I think the devil is in the details here. I hear you talked about the reduction of the president's budget. All of these things, yes, that's what we call the optics of it. They're trying to play to the optics of it. But the fundamental question, I think you guys asked that question earlier. Peabody asked it, you asked it, I think Grace asked it. Where are the cuts going, right? The other thing that we're not taking into consideration here, this budget is only 67 million more than the WIA budget. And there's several things that was in the last WIA budget that no longer exist today. Example, 2023, we had an election. There was close to 50-something million dollars that was spent on the national elections. Where is that 50-something million? Where is it? Where has it gone? Where did they reappropriate that 50-something million? One of the things that President Boyka ran heavily on, and I was looking to see, I didn't want to say anything because if I had said something, I knew they were going to run last minute to turn to chunk in there. I don't see anything in regards to the fight against drugs. I don't see anything. I don't see a task force. I know he set up a committee, but I do see $1.5 million in the budget for asset recovery. Asset recovery, which, by the way, can be carried out by the LSCC, which is a statutory, it's a statutory arm of the functionary of the Liberian government. I don't see anything when it comes to the issue of fighting drugs. We made a lot of noise in the last year or so about Kush. Have Kush gone? Do we talk about Kush anymore? Oh, all of a sudden, the Joe Boyka became president and the Kush left the country? Is that what has happened?
For the election.
So where are those videos? Maybe we need to find those videos of those young men walking around like zombies because it was part of their campaign. Where is look? They say, show me I think Joe Biden said it. Show me your budget. I'll show you your priorities. You tell me your priorities, right? Look, I think this budget is a joke. Long story short, it's a joke. It's a big joke to me because you know what? It's a continuation of what we have consistently done, and then we're expecting another result. So if you take 10 million or 20 million, the Ministry of State was 20 million. They brought it down to 9 million, right? Where did that money go? By the way, I have not heard, and I stand to be corrected, I have not heard of one increment when it comes to civil servant salary. Oh, I haven't seen, is this a project or a program-based budget? Or are we back to just paying people to go to ministries and play Zumba? Is that what we're about to do? Then what was all this noise about? Well, and I know this is just my opening, but I'm reading this budget, I'm going through it, I'm looking at certain lines and I see 0, 0, 0, 0. I see all of these things are optical. It's just for the optics. But you go to NSA, like you said, Tomalin, I think it's like 10 or 15 million.
11 million, EPS 8 million.
EPS 8 million. NSA 11 million. So I am saying, Okay, I'm saying when you ran your campaign, you beat up on the CDC for her budget, given the Liberian people bought your message, or at least the 17,000 more Liberians who went to the polls bought your message. So I don't want to hear about CDC budget. CDC is not in power anymore. I want to see a progressive budget from you. And so far, it is not progressive in my mindset. And so I'm calling on the national legislature, which, by the way, have the power to do this. Tear that budget up, send them another draft budget, and y'all come and reconcile it. All of this thing is a smoke screen. 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, agriculture. Lastly, Grace, you hit the nail on the head. Joe Boyka is supposed to be the agriculture president. He was minister of agriculture. He said, oh, he didn't do anything with agriculture because he wasn't president. He was LPMC board. We know what happened in LPMC. He wasn't president. He's president now. $1 million increment in agriculture. And by the way, agriculture is the first letter, A, in arrest. The first letter. President, I want to see your priorities, man. I think this is a joke.
So quickly, I wanted to ask Ben a quick question. So you said that they should send the budget back to the legislature for them to look into it so they can increase their cut that Joseph Baga cut off and put it back on? Because that's what we have.
No. It's actually going. It's actually to the legislature right now. What I'm saying is the legislature should. In fact, what is done in advanced democracies, the legislature will have a shadow budget that they both will be able to look at together and say, this is our priority, because the legislature, Grace, are direct representatives of the people. They are the direct representatives of the people. The reason why they are in the legislature is because they're supposed to understand the pains of the people. So they should be able to have a program-based budget to submit to the executive to say, you know what, let's reconcile these two budgets and come up with something that is more effective. But listen, I'm not holding my breath too much on that, because I don't want to pass out.
Emmerich.
Yeah, I think, Ben, I listened to Ben. I think Ben can replace me at my job to do the budget for my organization. The reason why I say is Ben just went through the whole process of budgeting. When you run on a mantra, right? When you run on certain values, those have to be reflected in your budget. They're almost like your mission and vision, right? UP came with a mission and vision that they're going to rescue the impoverished people, the poor people. They're going to uplift people. So today I made a couple of posts regarding the budget. I didn't have to go through everything to itemize it, but just the major areas based on their platform, things they said, arrest in agriculture, ecotourism, all of those things. If the budget is not reflective, for me, I want to see plans first on those things that are like the pillars of their campaign. I want to see it. I want to see plans, because the plan is going to drive the budget. It's not the other way around. So today when I was asking for plans, people say, well, they submitted something. No, from the party as UP, to have a plan to say, okay, we're going to move the impoverished community. We're going to move the people. We're going to impact the people through these agendas. And I wanted to see it reflective in the budget. And disappointingly, I don't see it. I'm disappointed. I don't see it. So my question is, how are we going to measure them? How are we going to create a contrast of their running of the country from the previous governing structure? How are we going to do it? They say, oh, just watch and give him chance. But from the budget tells a lot. From the budget, you can actually be able to project and be able to give an analysis as to how someone's going to do, just from the budget. From the budget I'm seeing, I don't see payroll being sliced. I don't see a restructuring of our payroll system where the bulk of the monies used to go to payroll to see it cut back significantly to have a small, effective group of people to run the country. I was looking forward to seeing that and see money being redirected to agriculture, to healthcare, to education, and those things. So if you have a plan, how many schools are you going to build? How many schools are you going to renovate? How many teachers are you going to have in addition to what we had in the past? How are you going to improve the educational sector? Those are the things where I have to question based on the plan. If you have a plan, I won't be questioning because I will read through your plan. Budget, a plan drives a budget. If you have a plan, you present your plan out of the different ministries. You can even go some places. If you listen to JMB back then, JMB said there will be no Ministry of Information. He said that. There will be no need for a Ministry of Information. He did say that. So coming in, if he's ready to run this country, coming here should be a part of his plan to restructure, to see how things, because he's been there for so long, and people say he got wisdom. People say he has decades of experience in governance. So I expect him to come and restructure those things that have not worked. A lot of ministries over there, I'm not taking from people that work over there. Well, that administrates over there, just scalling on doing nothing, not much purpose. Is to come and restructure with his experience, to come and restructure and see money that being wasted in some of those places, to see how he can redirect them to effective areas, effective programs that will uplift the lives of the people. I don't see it. And you can't say it too early because the budget dictates to what you're going to do all year round. So you can't say within 90 days, give him 90 days or give him 90 days, but the budget is before the 90 days. So what are you going to do with this budget? It's almost the same as what has happened in the past. And I don't see any change, any contrast. I don't see fresh ideas. I don't see new ideas. Or I see antiquated ideas just doing the same old thing, but they tell you wait and see how it's going to be done. We can't wait and see how it's going to be done. We will tell you how it's going to be done because we see the budget and know how it's going to be done.
Louis. Yes. Thank you. Good evening, Congress. I think it is the statutory responsibility of the legislature to review all of what we're talking about, the budget of our country, Article 34 of the Constitution, and clarified on that very deeply. But my concern is basically about, as the two last speakers said, this issue about prioritizing what we intend to talk about during the period of our campaign, because it was clearly manifested into the manifesto at the time, and there was a lot of explanation about it in terms of how we intend to move this. I can recall Amara and his administration, then as Minister of Finance and Development Planning, initiated what I refer to as the Open Budget Initiative. And what the Open Budget Initiative did for us is that it did not only open the mind of the people to the budget, but it also allowed the legislature, now the executive, to sit, as to what Ben said, to review as to what is the priority first from the legislature, and that of the executive that will have to present the budget to the legislature to review and finally move on the constitutional responsibility to pass it. There were a lot of those things that unfolded. But again, one of Mr. Boakai's major pillar into transforming Liberia is this issue about agriculture also. I can recall he did not only emphasize agriculture, but he himself served before as the former Minister of Agriculture. And I believe, I'm one of those that believe in terms of trying to align that with in-policy transformation is a very strategic area. It's a worth-creating sector. That's a sector that can independently transform our economy in no time. If you were to see the amount allotted to it is alarming. It's not something that I want to believe is going to push to transform the sector of making our country a private sector-driven institution. Because if you were talking about improving the cooperative, for instance, CDA, the amount sent to CDA is very infinitesimal in terms of analyzing the general budget process here. And that amount is nothing that we have to focus. We move back to one of the major areas in our social service development. Talk about the Civil 7. There's zero increment, because if you have to move to the budget, the structural analysis of the budget, first and foremost, they are now claiming that there was a reduction of $49 million and the total increases of the amount of $22 million. But what they didn't mention to us was the focus area of where most of the money was supposed to go to, right? For instance, they didn't tell us the particular amount in terms of our domestic debt, the strategy that if you were to move to general claim, and that's what the problem is in our country budgeting. They push most of the money. Now the president moved on to fund the optics here to say, executive mansion, I reduce this. And then there is this extraordinary hike into general claims. Now, what is the explanation behind general claims out of the money? So it is where I believe I want to charge our legislature to take some time and be more clinical about analyzing the budget process so that we find a lot of things and squeeze it off on that. Greaters is having some genuine fear that they may likely jump onto that and just increase their own benefit. No, I think we should focus on them, telling them also to move into that and see the strategic area. Move back to Liberia National Police. There was a zero increment for Liberia National Police. Zero increment for, and it is very strategic. Peace and security, there's the first line of our justice system, the Liberia National Police. Because if you were to spend money for the police, there's no logistic, the police does not have any logistic well. Now, if you were to go to any of our zones and depot, there's no vehicle, nothing whatsoever. There's zero amount there, zero. Civil servant, zero. So we need to be a little mindful as people of Liberia now to sit and say, hey, let's leave the optics people trying to bring up. It's a broad thing. It's some of the cosmetic morale looking for issue here, right? Let's go to the major point of what we need to transform our country. So if those things are not being captured into the budget, it's a very serious issue we should talk about here. Now, our lawmakers are supposed to be moving to say, hey, we are about to look back and say there are a lot of other things we need to do. For instance, one of the critical areas of the health sector, our nurses, zero. Go back to the line item, zero. Teachers, that's supposed to be building the foundation. Look at this, an educated nation is a nation that's boom to have a what we call booming economy. Teachers, there's zero line item for teachers and the rest of that. So my critical line of this budget process, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen here, is that we want to align the budget process strategically in keeping with our major interest area. So if you were to look at those critical areas of our country, now then if you went back and you left the Liberia National Police and you gave NSA $11 million. $11 million. And so most of those money is going to go what we call covert operation. And covert operation, they are non-explanatory operational line into the budget process. So I mean, it's a much concern for most of the critical dive into and make some and just pose as to if we are headed right or wrong.
Okay, since we are many and Liberian people are very tuned to listen to about it with the discussion. The budget is very for some of us who are not into the financial role will be more quiet most of the time. So we just gave chance at least everybody can have at least 2 minutes to give the input. Will be fun so they can get the best from us. So Lofa, then we go to Professor Kennedy and Robert. But Lofa, while throwing it out to you, I mean, you would think about since this government took over, there have been a lot of fire all over the place. But you would think they would prioritize that the area of on the Ministry of Justice for fire services or so forth. But the question I asked, I think that Ben said, somebody said it just now. Why NSA get hold 11 million? Why NSA do so much? But Lofa, yes, help us make sense.
Well, let me let me start off first of all by saying thanks to everyone on here. Great, good evening, good afternoon. I've been following. My apologies for coming on late, but a couple of things I wanted to highlight before I even get into that. Let me start off by thanking LTA for actually going into the idea of signing a regulation to protect customers, something that I asked about when the public relation officer appeared on the show, and I think they took that into consideration. They finally went into signing the regulation to protect consumers, so that's great. That's a good start. Let me applaud them for that, even though it needs a lot of work. Based on what I saw and read, it needs a lot of work, but that's a good start. As far as the budget, look, guys, people prioritize. When you decide to do something, you prioritize, and then you implement based on your priorities, okay? You all already spoke of some of the things that if I come out here to say the same thing, we just sound redundant. It appears as though all of us just repeating ourselves. And I hate to sound redundant, but for a group of people who told us they came to rescue an entire nation, okay, to notice that the issue of drugs abuse was very high on the campaign propaganda list, to rather take money and put it towards offering people thank you cards and claiming that they are creating positions for them to work in government, talking about that's asset recovery task force. Nonsense. Complete nonsense. These group of men and women that you have given authority to have no idea as to what they're even taxed with. Okay, I hear people talk about, hey, guess what? The legislature is taxed with the responsibility. Do you even have confidence in a single person out there for you to even think that they will do anything? Guess what? The same way they have stalled the entire process of the War and Economic Crimes Court because they want to favor themselves and forget the people. This entire process will be discussed, and at the end of the day, it will go into committee room, and the people will end up being victims. They will be victimized because Honorable Boycott did not come to the presidency with any agenda. He knew, like I said before, and I want to say this again. Honorable Boycott came to the presidency based on sympathy. The people sympathize with him. This man been in government for so long. He's an older man. At this point, let's just give him something so that that's it. They did not see, because the Unity Party did not give you any agenda. They did not give you fire. As of recent, what have you not heard of fire in Liberia? Everywhere you turn, almost every day. I can play for you 5 or 6 different scenarios of fire that resulted to death in Liberia. You would think that they would have allocated funds to fire safety. They just ignore that. Healthcare. But then they bug everything up. In closing, let me say this, Liberians. For those of you who cannot afford these sophisticated applications to use and just go through the budget, let me give you something really easy. It's free. As a matter of fact, it's free, and you can use it to compare. It's web-based, and you can install it on your local workstation at home or wherever it is, okay? It's pdf24.org. It has a variety of tools in there. And I want to say this again, pdf24.org. Go to that website. You can download that too. And if you don't want to download it, you can simply just stay on that website, upload both documents, and compare it. That too is so good. It tells you what was added, what was subtracted, and you can go through the entire process. Please do it for yourselves, Liberian, so you can see how these people decided to literally step on your neck. All right? They came to enrich themselves. When they say rescue, they did not come to rescue you. Because as far as I know, when I sit here, when I go to listen to people discussing budget as to how it impacts me, there are several things that I looked at. What are the recent concerns in the community, the state, in the cities? Those are the kind of things people look at, not to look at what would enrich them or give money to their family and friends. Thank you.
Professor Kennedy, they said these adjustments reflect a strategic reallocation of resources towards priority areas such as education, healthcare, and agriculture, whilst also implementing cost-saving measures in administrative and legislative functions. Help them make sense, man. Help them make sense of this budget, please.
Look, so the first thing you have to understand that the budget is all just estimates. First of all, you have to be realistic, because there's no guarantee some of these agencies are going to even get this money. So you have to be realistic, right? It's all estimate. The one criticism you will hear from a lot of what we call supranational banks, like the African Development Bank, Asian Development Bank, the one criticism you will hear that would say about African government budgets, they're overly optimistic. They're being optimistic in terms of the allotment of this budget. So let's be realistic first and say this budget is all an estimate. It may not even come to fruition. It may not even happen. If it does happen, you're going to have a huge budget shortfall. Then you end up in a deeper hole than you need to be in. The problem with this budget is you have a little over 600 million just going to, it's not going to anything that's going to lead to economic development that will lead to an increase in more revenue for the next year, right? So we're in this vicious cycle. We're not investing in those sectors. Technology, in this day and age, if you're not investing in technology, your country's not going to develop. You're wasting your time. Human capital. If we're not investing in the young people and improving or increasing their skills level to compete, you're not going to develop your country. Agriculture, if you can't feed yourself, how can you possibly get the energy to go to work and do stuff if you have a little over half of your population food insecure? So you have to put money in those sectors that's going to grow your economy, right? Even construction. You have the workforce, you have the labor, because we have a lot of young people in our country. But the problem is sectors like construction, which is where you want to put money into things like housing and things of that sort to boost up the economy, because a lot of people in the States will want to go back to Liberia, maybe build a house or something, put money in that sector. But you end up putting a little over 600 million in those areas that's not going to lead to development. You're wasting your time. You're absolutely wasting your time. So Liberia is going to be in a fix. In fact, when you read the first section of I think a lot of people just jump straight to the numbers.
Of course. Read the literature.
You have to read the very first section, because they try to be overly optimistic in the very first section. They're telling you about the global economy, how the economy grew over a year, how it was kind of low, and how in 2023, what the expectations are.
But it's we have strong economy in 2023, Larry. They say our economy was strong.
And then when you read the next line, it tells you that it was strong in the mining sector. That's the extractive sectors, where all of the money is leaving. You know, people are renting. It's not really developing the country. They're just renting, they're mining and all that stuff. When you have growth in the extractive sectors, it's not really helping your people. If you're doing something in the mining sector where you are doing like end products in Liberia, then you can say you have growth and development. But you have growth in your economy, but it's in the mining sector that's leaving, right? So I look at the budget, I read the first line. The thing that really scares me was the debt servicing. The reason the debt servicing is frightening is because if Liberia misses its debt payment to the international community, and if I hear you guys talk about it on this show, you miss your debt payment, they want to freeze any other allocation you have, whether it's some development fund or something. You've seen World Bank have done it, right, at IMF. So if you miss your external debt payment, you're in trouble. We saw this happen to Ghana. This is why Ghana is in trouble today. But Liberia, you got to fix your credit rating. America borrows between 1.4 to like 2-point-something trillion per year. The US debt is over 30-something trillion. Nothing wrong with borrowing, but borrow that money and put it in an area to develop the security sector, the judicial system, the fire service, like you guys talk about. Put it into money to help the young people in the education sector. They got to boost up their skills so they can get jobs. Put it in technology. In this day and age, we are in the information age. You have to put money into the technology sectors. How many ministries out there have clean and constant access to the internet? Exactly. So I look at the budget, I say, wow, right off the top, I'm looking at little over 600 million. That's just going to paying salaries and other recurring expenditures. So I have the fact that this budget is also overly optimistic. You may not even generate that amount of revenue. I'm really concerned. I'm really, really concerned. And I don't want to compare it to the previous government, because you're wasting your time comparing it to the previous government. Talk about what you are doing now, what you can possibly do. They need to don't spend money on a Ministry of State office. Some of these offices, there were all these high allocations. They don't really need it. You know, don't spend money on some of these executive offices that they're not really going to lead to anything that's going to lead to development. I think that's where the budget is suffering. We're spending money in offices on the executive side that leads to no development. The people looking at this budget, the people are getting peanuts. Everybody wants to support a politician to get into government because this is the only opportunity of living the life they never had. That's the reality of it in Liberia and other African countries. People rush to government because, hey, if you can make it in the private sector, go into government sector. Next thing you know, you end up in a nice big house, a nice car, and you're sitting down eating ice cream and cookies every weekend. And that's how it is in Liberia. So I'm not impressed with the budget, man. I think it's overly optimistic, and I think they're going to catch some flack if things in the global economy doesn't turn the way they're expecting it. But we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Robert coming in, but Robert, just information why you coming? Because I know you're going to talk about it. The Ministry of Finance, why the Ministry of State was 20 million, they cut it to 9 million. The Ministry of Finance budget is 172 million.
Oh,
so just some information for you to start. Okay.
whoa.
Thank you, guys. So watching this Lone Star game while I'm watching. Lone Star just got a penalty, so that's a good news for us. But listen, listen. Let me say this. Go for Lone Star. Lone Star is leading 1. Okay, now I can talk. Let me say this.
They got me say JMB guy video. So
I was just about to say thank you to my uncle. 10th honorable boy guy.
Let that big fight. You know the two that scored and coming down with them again.
Lone Star, but we're playing away, so that's a very important.
My cousin is actually playing on that team right now.
Yeah, that's a very important goal. But let's get back to the topic. You know, I read the little piece of my good friend Senator Darius Dillon, and you know he was very strategic in what he wrote. He said, "Well, it's not a perfect budget, but he said there was some improvement." Here is my thing. You cut the Ministry of State budget from $20 million to $9 million. You're saving close to $11 million. So all of the cuts that happen over here, you're looking at close to $40-something million. And I'm not a finance guy, so I won't say much on this topic, and I'll listen to the experts here. I really enjoy Sylvester when he got deep into all of the different areas. But where exactly did the $46 million go in savings? This is the question. I'm not even looking at the $600 million. Can we meet ourselves? I think there's an echo.
In the back. Okay.
Where did the almost $46 million in savings go? Because the increase that we're talking about over here, they talk about Ministry of Education, increased from $98 million to $105 million. Okay, University of Liberia, they added $2 million on that. The agricultural sector, they added just $1 million on that, right? The health sector, and this is very important, from $64 million to $75 million. And so here is my question. When you have $170-something million for the Ministry of Finance, I want them to really make sense of this. The Ministry of Finance has a budget of over almost $200 million. I want to understand, how does that actually make sense from an economic perspective, from a job growth perspective? Because you have other sectors over here that I believe could bring more return on revenue based on the investment made than the Ministry of Finance. So,
Robert, can I say something to you on that real quick?
Go ahead.
A part of it has to do with the Ministry of Finance servicing the debt.
Yeah. So if they're servicing the debt, well, you know what? Here's the thing, and you guys are the experts, so I won't. But it's not very clear in our budget. So the trick here is, you could say there's a possibility of them servicing the debt, but it's not explicit in the budget. I want to see a budget that says, well, we're going to put $40 million or $50 million towards debt payment. That's a line item that should be very clear in the budget from all indication, right? You can't just buck up a budget and says, well, that's $172 million. It's open to interpretation. And so if they are able to get all that money, they could use this money as discretion, right? And so this whole budget, it really confused me, to be honest with you. We talk about RT. How much are we investing in information? How much are we investing? We just witnessed the whole scare about the country being down for almost 48 hours. What is in the budget to actually address this situation? But look, I'm not a finance guy. I like to stay in my zone. But I know I can count money. The 40-something million dollars that they save yet, that they're talking about saving yet, if you add all of the increases in different areas, they save over 30-something million dollars in legislative budget. If that's the case, I still don't know how that is very clear yet. I still need to see the line item by item. But if they're saving almost 30-something million dollars from $67 million, where are you allocating that money? Where is it going? Why are you only adding $6 million or so on education? The health sector is getting less than $2 million. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So, from my perspective, I think this is a trick. This is all bluff. This is bluff from in terms of well, we have a better budget than the CDC budget. But what they always say, the devil is the what they say. What's the term? What's the adage? The devil is in
the details.
In the detail, right? We've got to look at the details, and we want to see the details, because this budget, right? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But I will stop here and let the guys who have more knowledge on this matter let them speak on this.
Yeah, Robert, just a point, right? When I made a post today, I made so many posts. It was about the plans, the details. Once you have the plans, right, I don't think you're going to be questioning these things, all the different lines, the allotments, and they should be able to reveal that plan that's drive the budget, and I think it would do them greater service, to avoid going back and forth and explaining here and there. But if you come in, once you come in with our plan, like Lofa said, right? When you come in with our plan, that's what happens. Then now the budget going to drive your plan instead of the plan driving the budget. So, and that's not how you want to do it.
Yeah, but how do you do a budget without a plan?
But I will say this, right? I've made a lot of inquiries. The way our budget is done, people think that we have experts, but yet and still we struggle with having this whole budgetary explanation and issues and so in our country. The reason why it is done that way is because people think that it had been done before, so it cannot be changed. So for some of us that have been in the area with the expertise, we think it should be done differently. We think they should have programs tied. In most cases, when you have budget like our country, programs tied to the budget, and those programs actually salary is going to be tied to the programs instead of programs that don't impact the people. Most of the programs that don't impact the people, the lives of the people, get rid of those programs. You don't really need them. You don't need them. You don't need those programs. So for me, looking at Liberia's problem right now, I think I will support a budget that will support programs that will uplift the people, that will bring transformation to the lives of the people, like education, the hospital, internet, building capacity. Those things are things that are going to directly impact the people. Those are the things that I will support in a budget. Other than that, paying salaries for people that sit at ministries that don't do anything much, I'm not going to support a budget like that, because people are you're going to have this outcry as the previous government. We're still going to have people complaining because the lives of people are not changing. The economy is not, once you put people to work, like when you cut back, I keep saying, when you have this restructuring, you cut back on the load on the government, you can redirect those funds to the private sector in agriculture, in ecotourism, in other areas. Those are the ways to think or renew thought process. We have to have a leader or leadership with the mindset of thinking how to transform Liberia from the impasse that stopped the country from our promise from progressing, and move the country in a progressive way that everybody's going to benefit.
Can I ask Larry a question, please?
Okay,
sorry, Peabody, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things I want to ask is, I know security is important for the country, but why are you increasing NSA bill? Why are you giving NSA that kind of money? When you got key institutions, you got your healthcare sector, the education sector. Why are you increasing the budget? I mean, I know they got cool operation, all of that, but man, what's going on?
I just wanted to, for me, and Larry, maybe you can come in here with this. When do we get? Is there a possibility for any time in the near future where we are going to see a budget that benefits the vast majority of the population? Because clearly, what has happened, what continues to happen here is there are 60 plus 70,000 civil servants, right, in the country. I'm just guessing. This is a guesstimate. 70,000 plus. That's not even a percentage of the population of the Republic of Liberia. That's not even a percentage. Not even 1% of the population. But our entire national budget, the one that the entire population pays, right? The reason I'm asking this question is that in other countries, like example, the United States, right? I'm not comparing Liberia and America. I'll be high on Kush to do that.
But Ben, why not though?
No. I'm not going to waste my time to even do that, Lofa. It's not even possible. It's out of the realm of possibility. Because let me say this. You see the budget, right? When Joe Biden say he's going to do student loan forgiveness, right? It's affecting a huge portion of the population. It's coming out of the budget. When they're doing stuff for urban housing planning, I was listening to Marsha Forge, who is the outgoing HUD, housing and urban secretary.
Relevant, yeah.
Yeah, she said currently there's data, right? Like you talk about Larry Emmerich.
2-0.
Oh, okay. Well, so like she said, right? There's currently 500,000 homes being built, not by the government, but some of them through government programs, subsidies of government programs. The question I'm trying to ask here is, when do we make the pivot? What do we need to see happen with our national budget? Is it too small? Which I think it is, right? But even with the one we have right now, how can we make that pivot for it to start benefiting the vast majority of the country, whether it's through education, healthcare, all of those things? How can we do that, Larry? I mean, I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, so the way how a lot of the countries that were even poorer than Liberia, that are now doing so much better than Liberia, a lot of what all of them have done, they did several things. Number one, they put people in positions based on merit, because you need to have good, competent people at the top of your government. The time we will ever change this is when we have a leader comes in and he's putting people in positions not based on the support for the party, but it's based, you see, like some of these positions, then you should have these positions posted, let people apply for them, not just dish them out, because that way you can get the most competent people. Because when you have a competent person in a department, they will come up with those ideas that will help grow your economy and create jobs. To change this budget, the budget is so low. The population is growing at around 2%. The population is growing faster than we're actually creating jobs. So that means every year, as we get about 100,000 or so people being born, every year we're putting more people into poverty as opposed to taking them out of poverty. The way how you need to do it, like most other countries have done it, you need a way to borrow money. You need money. I don't care what anybody say. They can say money is the root of all evil, but money is a good place to start reducing some of the evils you will see in your country. You need a lot of money. How do you get that money? All these countries borrow money. You see Ghana, people start comparing Ghana in terms of how Ghana is doing, even though they struggle a little bit, with their debt. But the way how you see Ghana made all those improvements, it wasn't just the leadership. It was Ghana's ability to borrow billions of dollars and put it towards
leveraging the assets.
They
did a resource swap with China.
As the number one mining company based here in the US, they're operating out of Ghana. Those are the kind of things that, so you need to be able to borrow money. And the reason why Liberia cannot borrow money, because we're stuck, number one, in this whole this program, this credit facility program we have with the IMF.
The IMF, The credit facility.
You need to be able to tap the diaspora, Because when you can borrow that kind of money and you put it to develop it, don't borrow the money to go pay salaries, because then you're wasting your time, because then you'll be worse off than when you started. Borrow the money. Set up things like a grant for students there to get some technical training. Set up things like a grant for students there to go improve their skills in construction. Encourage the diaspora, people that are retiring over here, to go build homes in Liberia. Put that money towards the sectors that will lead to development. Your budget will grow, because what happens is, as you put money into those sectors, it leads to people creating jobs. Those people that get the jobs will spend the money in the economy. It's called the Keynesian model, right? John Maynard Keynes. Those people will spend the money to go to the market. The market women then will need things from the agriculture sector. It's a cycle. That's how your economy will start growing, and you start putting more people to work. But you need to be able to borrow money. But if we borrow money, it's usually some type of a loan from the IMF or the World Bank or a grant or something like that, and we use it to pay salaries. We're putting it right back. That's why when you look at these budgets and you say, "Oh my God, I don't see anything in here that would help the common people." Because I don't want to say this, but worst case scenario, if you have some sort of a global disaster or something, you're going to end up with a lot of problems in Liberia, because anything that happened outside of Liberia, it will impact what's happening in Liberia. We saw what happened with COVID. When the U.S. government started to struggle, what did they do? They put money in their budget to boost the economy. They started giving checks to people, right? They started giving checks to people. Those people spend the money, even though it led to inflation, but those people spend the money and it helped to boost the U.S. economy. But something like that happens in Liberia, we have to wait until the IMF or somebody else come and rescue us. So to answer your question, Ben, the way this happens, it has to do with putting people that are effective in positions within the government. It has to do with the ability to go out to Wall Street, the capital markets, and borrow money. I don't care if you're doing that Ghana, borrow $1 billion, but don't borrow that $1 billion to go put it in salaries. Because if you look at the budget right now, our budget debt is at $2.3 billion. 157 million of that last year went to debt servicing. That's why you see the Ministry of Finance budget is so high, because 157 million of that went to paying debt. And if you don't pay your debt, where are you going to borrow money from now? You're out of luck. You can't get money from the IMF. You can't get money from the World Bank because you're frozen. You're in trouble. So I think the leadership needs to kind of rethink this thing. Maybe this year, President Boyka is looking to put people there to sort of pay them for the work that they did to get him elected. But at some point, he would have to reshuffle his government and maybe bring in some highly technical people and not people who just help him to get elected. Because you saw Ghana fired their finance minister, right?
Yeah.
They elect the finance minister because the country is in this debt crisis. So, yeah. Ben, to answer your question, we've been in this cycle for years. For years, we've been in this cycle. But I think, let's see, maybe the current Minister of Finance will rethink this strategy and maybe find some avenue to be able to borrow money and put that money towards those sectors that will lead to economic development. Otherwise, we'll just be here for another, 10 years looking at other countries coming past us.
But Professor Kennedy, I wanted to say this. So I know you talk about the finance minister trying to borrow money. It all makes sense. But as we keep on saying, people in positions don't belong there, because he can borrow as much money as he wants when those people in positions don't have the real knowledge to be able to help the country in how to direct those funds and what to do with the money to help the sectors that they're working is in vain, because our people keep on hiring people because of friendship, because of party loyalty, because they help them to get in power, and it's killing our country on a regular basis. When we say it here, people don't like to hear it, but it's the truth. People buying positions, paying money, carrying a culture troop to go get confirmed because they know they're not even qualified for the position. But other people, because it's their friends, they will come on the same very platform and say, "Oh yeah, the person, yeah, they deserve to get out, they did this." But in reality, we all know it's not the case. And that's the vicious cycle that is killing our country by the day. And our people will continue to suffer because the other countries have tapped into it. They are getting the brightest and the smartest to get in position to help the economy and help the country, for everybody to, like, people not supposed to be really poor. They got an island or thing or country in this world that everybody in that country live very good life because the resources of the country, Liberia should be falling under that a little bit. But we got most of the poorest people in the world. I can't even afford to have 50 cents to eat a day come from Liberia. Just because the way the people see things and the way they do things. You my brother, so I will put you there. You my cousin, and the driver helped me in my life, so I will put him there. And it's just wrong for our country. They are destroying our country.
Well, and you're who the finance people. Somebody from the government, the people are saying, they're telling me that we should wait and see the budget. How do you call it? The budget performance. Emery, you're helping. They said we should
budget performance report.
Yeah, so we shouldn't jump. The president said we shouldn't jump the gun. Wait and see the budget performance report from when this budget is passed and they start to implement and mobilize revenues. I mean, is that person right?
Tomalin, you're not going to see the performance of the budget until sometime way next year, maybe like around May or June of next year. You know why? Because because
it's not in May or June. It's going to be the end of that budget year.
The end of the budget year, which is
it's not going to be May. The end of the budget year.
Let me tell you why I say May, June. Because in order to see the budget yielding or giving the results that you expect in terms of capacity growth, in terms of human capacity developing, in terms of the healthcare sector being impacted. The reason I said May or June is because you need to look at the economic indicators, right? Your GDP per capita, the infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, the number of students you graduated, all those, economic indicators, they come way after the fact. Like even now, we haven't seen the 2023 economic indicators for a lot of areas yet because they come way after the fact. So economic indicators are laggard, they're late, they come way after the fact. So you're not going to see what they're talking about is to just see whether they met certain expectations or hit certain goals. But to measure how the people benefited, whether food insecurity, you reduce food insecurity, whether the number of children going to school increase, whether the graduation rate, or the WIAC exam, all those things come way after the fact. So you're not going to see that right away at the end of the year. They're talking two different things, right? Budget performance and human development performance or growth. I'm not really concerned more about the budget performance. I'm more concerned about how well the people benefited. I'm not going to see that data until sometime next year. So I want to make that kind of clear. I don't know if I explained it good.
I think Tomalin, I don't know. I don't like to take anyone off. Anything off anyone, but the person who is asking, I think the person does not understand budget performance. I believe if the person actually understands budget performance, will not be asking and saying wait for 2 or 3 months to see how the budget going to perform. Professor Kennedy rightfully said the human, the index, human development index, and when you look at it to see how people are doing, is one way you can also measure and see how your budget is doing. You can do that 6 months, 7 months from now to see how the lives of people have improved and those things. And it's easy to do, but the budget performance is something completely different. To know whether the following years of budget, whether you have to maybe shut down certain programs or redirect funding to different programs that are not effective, or to see how you can improve those certain programs that you see some progress. All of those different things, budget performance will tell you that. So to that point, I think the person will have to be clear as to what he or she meant. Okay.
But let me ask a question. Everybody answer the question. Every government, whether past and present, they have direct foreign investment, budget support. I'm sure the U.S. government, other foreign government will help. Will give budget support. So, how do they affect the budget if the direct support comes in?
Oh yeah, it impacts the budget significantly. Basically, the European, we have our major contributing partner to the budget is the EU. The EU contributes significantly to our national budget. Even the WIAC administration, there was a lot of support coming from the European Union. On the most serious note, that the support impact is huge. So, and that also significantly impact the national budget on the most serious note. And then what we need to look into also, beyond, and that's coming from the EU, which of course, then you have to seek support coming also sometime. The World Bank can say, oh, we're going to do some support coming into the national budget. So yeah, it does impact the budget significantly, and it helped in doing some heavy lifting. And the last time we're having some conversation about it is that someone said before is the shock absorber for us. It absorbed most of our those exogenous processes we have. So those support coming from the EU, from the World Bank, sometimes from the African Development Bank, and yeah, sometimes the Chinese government also do help us in terms of that. The UC we have to commit to some of those things. So yeah, most of those contributions coming from our international partners and that of both our bilateral and multilateral partners do also significantly impact the budget. Yes,
I got a quick question. I got a quick question here for anybody though. So I've been going all around just trying to just surf, and I cannot find where the Lone Star game is being covered, or at least we're carrying it from our own source.
It's on the internet. It's on the internet.
It's on the internet. I'm watching it right now.
Are we carrying it? I'm saying, are we carrying it? Liberia.
Who's carrying it? What do you mean?
Who's carrying it? Who's carrying it?
Guys, let me.
I just want to know who's carrying it.
You can find the carry game from Djibouti.
I'm on Robert's page. I'm on Robert's page.
I'm carrying the game, man.
I want somebody to help.
Are you carrying it from Lone Star's page?
But I wanted to.
Let me show you.
I think the game over. Let's get back to the topic.
Let me ask the question. Right?
So, can I say something quick on the FDIs, the foreign direct investments?
Yeah, go ahead.
That is so important. If you put somebody in a position like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Commerce, countries out there are competing for foreign direct investment. For example, if you're able to convince a clothing manufacturer somewhere in the US or in China to go and build like a low-key manufacturing, that's foreign direct investments, right? Because it leads to that company not paying taxes, which will help the budget because it will boost the revenue base. The way how some countries like Lesotho, right, this landlocked country that is sitting inside another country, Lesotho is getting a lot of foreign direct investments because a lot of women have been trained. A lot of clothes now are being manufactured in Lesotho. You know why? Because they have convinced manufacturers in Asia. The cost of labor in Asia has been going up. So Africa has a good opportunity now to bring manufacturers to Africa. In addition to that, Liberia, like Lesotho, we have something called the AGOA, African Growth and Opportunity Act, right? So we don't pay taxes or tariffs on certain things. So if you convince a foreign company to come and set up shop in Liberia, and they can do that if you and you tell them, look, listen, set up shop here because when we ship your clothing to America, we're not going to pay taxes on it. Certain agricultural products. So countries have what is called an investment promotion agency. A lot of African countries do have it. They have agencies sometimes based in the embassies around the world that all they do is promote investing in their countries.
We do have it also. We have the National Investment Commission.
They're not very effective.
What have they done, Pew?
They don't have offices within the embassies around the world. The U.S. government is big at that in terms of foreign direct investments. I can't tell you exactly how they're doing it, for whatever reason. I'm not going to say it, but bringing foreign direct investors to Liberia, including Liberians in the diaspora, will boost up your revenue base, and you can do that. You just need to have a good investment promotion agency to set it up. You can set what is called a trade investment partnership program. I deal with some of that stuff pretty much every single day, whether it's people in South Africa, whether it's people in Ghana, it's people over in China, all the time. You can set those things up and bring investors over to your country, and you can make that happen. So FDIs, huge opportunity in there. Use the Liberian embassy to set up your investment promotion agency. That's what FDIs can really do for Liberia. That's what we need to boost up the economy.
So what's the possibility of us benefiting from this? We passed. We have passed twice, right? Consecutively, the MCC, right? MCC scorecard. So what the possibility that Liberia will get a compact?
You want me to answer? Or you want to hear my answer?
You discouraged me last night, Ben.
Oh, okay. Sorry, now I will not discourage you again today.
So how do
Somebody
you
else can encourage. Somebody else can encourage Dominic.
How do we get about?
Let me ask you, Professor Kennedy.
No, but people have my question.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Go ahead.
No, let me say something. I don't want to discourage you, Dominic, but I'm not going to discourage you. Let me say this. Getting a compact for me is there's a couple of things that needs to happen, right? But it's also a competition. It's a competition. It's pretty much you're in a competition with other countries.
So
the problem here is there are some structural things happening in Sierra Leone with all the troubles they are having, right? Sierra Leone didn't take $1.5 million from its national budget to set up an asset recovery team to waste money. What Sierra Leone empowered its anti-corruption agency, put in place a very sharp, forward-thinking young man to head that anti-corruption agency. And since he'd been the head of that anti-corruption agency 5 years ago, he has recovered billions of dollars. I mean, millions of dollars and billions of leons, right? And it's shown that you can see it happen. The fight against corruption, right, is also realistic. It's realistic. It's not today we are having an audit.
But Ben,
then we decommission the audit.
You guys went for Facebook.
We passed twice. We passed twice.
But you know why the audit got decommissioned?
Yeah, because they won't put a 10 billion in it. For
okay, simple as that.
So Emmerich, that is what I'm saying, right?
But is that not illegal?
When it come to people, the people in power, they can determine what they want to do, right? My only thing is, look, these things you're competing against Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Ghana State looking for compact. All these countries, like Larry said, that have structural things in place. You know, it's like when you go, it's like Liberia playing Brazil. I mean, it's just that simple. Let me break it down that way. It's like Liberia playing Brazil. We playing Djibouti right now. We're leading 2-0, right? If we decide tomorrow, because if we win this game, and like we typically do in Liberia, after we win this game today, we pray that we win. Tomorrow, the whole country will believe we're ready to play Brazil. The whole country will say we're ready to play Brazil. We just hire one foreign coach.
They already said that you bring America.
I thank you. You see what I'm saying? Look, winning a compact tournament. You know why Ellen won a compact? Let me tell you. Ellen had a task force. And this is something this is a conversation I had with President Salif personally. I asked her, I said, what were some of the things that you did? Even Americana is aware because he was one of the people. They had a task force coming. When you know what they used to do? They had a checklist. If you fail in, let's say, I'm just throwing it out there, corruption, right? That task force will go laser focus on what we did wrong in corruption. Education, funding, access to women health care. They will have Ellen Salif was intentional. She was deliberate, coupled with the fact that she was a celebrity. She was their darling girl, but they put in the work. They put in the work. Let's fast forward to the CDC administration. All the things we can talk about the CDC and people can want to hit on the CDC administration. The reason they passed was because they were intentional also on some of those issues. They were intentional on some of those issues. Now, it's going to be left for the president to be intentional. But I can tell you, Tomalin, that compact and that money that get Liberia name on it, that compact is out there for the grasp of countries that mean business. Countries that mean business. The president, since the president came to power, the president has break so many of his promises that he has made. So many. What happened to the 10,000 young people that were training in ICT from his State of the Nation address? What happened to it? Nobody talking about it anymore. This is the country we have. Nobody. You remember he made a statement in his State of the Nation? He would train 10,000 young people in ICT. Where is it? Where is it? Nobody has said a word about it. He also announced, I brought up the issue of Kush. He announced a ministerial committee, right? Have they had one meeting? That committee now have one meeting? Have they had one meeting? Have there been one report released to the public on the issue of the what is being done for Kush? The only thing we see, Ebi Kroma is arresting. They say he arrested his old mechanic with drugs. He burned the drugs. And my brother Hassan Fadiga today was towing Freeport. He said he did impromptu visit. Listen, these things are not things that are going to move the needle. Everybody, guys, all the people doing the government is grandstanding. Everybody, you know what it reminds me of? Like old time again. Everybody manning their wing. That's what they're doing. Oh, today, Sarah Besso Yanti, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, she had press conference. She got her own media team. They show her today, turning in her passport. And then they all won't finish. Then we go to LDA. Fagon to LBS. He told all the sectoral, he was towing all the OO billionaire. Bam! Tell her old time again, no cohesion. You don't win compact that way, Tommy. You win compact when you have a government working in unison. When you have a president who is in control. Clearly, Mr. President doesn't seem to be in control of his government. He clearly doesn't seem to be in control of his government. Look at his national budget. So I'm just saying, my hope is that they will get it right. There's still a new government, but let me tell you, the Unity Party has aborted its honeymoon. The Unity Party has aborted its honeymoon. Look at what has happened in the country. You want to talk about George Weah? By this time, George Weah were already fixing door community rule. By this time, in his presidency, George Weah had intervened on the UL. He announced the free education. I'm just saying. So what are we doing?
Well, Ben, that's the truth.
That is true.
Yeah, that's the truth.
But this time, the foundation for the 14 military
hospital was done. You could see. Then when the people say,
although there were mediocrity in all those things, but they were doing it.
But again, Grace, like we said, that is the measurement the Liberian people has given themselves, right? They've given these two political parties have dominated our political space for the last 20-something years, right? CDC that was supposed to be the most incompetent. By this time in Weah administration, we had tangibles we could point to.
Yeah, they have performed well. They have.
By this time, they have community.
And by that time, these guys are already getting paid for at least a month.
But that's what I'm saying. Civil servants have gotten paid. This government took $41 million from the national legislature. We don't know what they spend that money on. We don't know what they spend that money on. Civil servants are still not getting paid. They still have not gotten paid. So what is going? Where are their competence?
No, I thought it was intended for paying. Paying salaries, man. The $41 million.
The 41, it was not for salary.
I thought it was for salaries. And
I don't know.
Oh.
What's it? Who put this? Oh, that the thing. I don't even know.
Look how the people even dressed, not even ready. Oh, God have mercy.
But it will be a disaster if this government if they have an MC a failed scorecard.
The major signature project that President Joe Boyka can boast of in his first 2 months in office is the dedication of a police booth at 72nd Junction. That's the only project I know President Boyka has done. One police booth, he went and cut a ribbon at one police booth. This was George Weah in 3 months. 3 months. The most incompetent president according to Unity Party. So what are we talking about? I mean, y'all don't let me put my election business in my head right now.
And that's the reason why the people thought that, because what George Weah was doing wasn't really still adding up to the Liberian people. They just felt that it was slow, it was not up to pack, it was not, really organized and everything. So they thought this government was going to hit the ground running. That way they made a mistake. So
I thought so too.
Program for Liberian people that say, okay, look at what happened when George Weah came and now look. Why did people
Grace, I agree with you. I think by now we should see. Yeah. Go ahead.
Something my friend Eugene Nambe said, and it's mind-boggling. The 2 executive orders that Joe Boyka signed, he only changed 6 words in both of them. When Eugene said it, I thought Eugene was just filibustering.
That's the truth. Yeah.
I swear to God, when Eugene said it, I really thought he was just, he was. I said that Eugene just doing his politics thing. I went and I compared the executive order line by line. Only 6 words they changed. Water and sewer, executive order on rice. What was George Weah? One of the first things he did, he met with rice importers. Our friend Amin Moda came on the show. What did he announce? 25% reduction in rice. So then
and 30 seconds, okay? Did you listen to the full interview of Eugene Nyenwolo?
I did watch it, and
I just thought that interview was very strategic, and I think that if you look back at the recent election law, if you listen to that interview and some of the responses to specific things that have come from the Minister of Information, I think they are pushing back here, and I think they're going to use him and others to really push back on this government on a lot of different things.
So for me, I just
you know,
we need to leapfrog.
Yeah,
the leapfrog and let them get serious, because this is a joke.
I think that, but now we should see a contrast between this administration.
Clear contrast.
Clear contrast.
But Emerick, you can continue. How many more months we have now until the first 90 days? I mean, how far are they with this whole no car will get stuck on any road in the entire country? How far are they with that?
They sent 2 yellow machines the other day.
Yeah, but that was in Lofa. I mean, that was in
Lofa. For you guys to manage your expectation.
That was in Lofa. So I mean, you got literally 1 month and a few more weeks to 90 days. How realistic is this?
You know, here's the reality about this, right? I'm sorry, I hate to sound as bad as I do. I did not expect anything good from this government. I don't expect anything good from them. I'm just here to reassure my people that what they believed in yesterday, for which they made this mistake and caused themselves this calamity, they need to manage the expectation. Like Emerald Conan, I will not declare my asset, said, you just need to continue to manage your expectation. If you notice on the social media now, you know that they are now bringing these kids who cannot get job anywhere else to now start defending them on the social media. When they post some of these nonsense, they go and defend it and say, oh, this is justifiable. And this is a serious government. This is a government that's supposed to rescue a nation, a government that brings in people to reward them for their commitment or their support in during an election time or campaign season. You got to be joking. To be honest with you, I'm not the religious one, but I would sit here today and say I'd rather sit here and listen to Dr. Peabody preach to me about hoping than to even think that this government will do anything better. We will only continue to go down the slope. And again, I pray that they prove me wrong. If I'm proven wrong, I would not be the guy. I would not be Sylvester Peabody to not acknowledge and accept that I was wrong. I would not be the politician. I will acknowledge and accept and say I was wrong. But this government cannot do any better than she started doing already, because you know what? They had no agenda. They had no plans. They came here hoping that they will succeed. Matter of fact, while we're on here, I went back to my archive. I put up a video from Spoon Talk when at the time Ben and Tomalin and other guys were on there, when people were giving their oath. We don't want government job because we got this. I literally just put up. Go back. I'm not going to post it here. Go March 1st, 2021. It's there. Go listen to that video. March 1st, 2021. Go listen to that video from Spoon Talk and listen to them.
Well, let me ask a question here.
The Minister of Information, Minister of Education, he was stuck in the mud in Zwedru Fishtown Road last night. So President Baga said nobody will get stuck, right? She was stuck in the mud on the Zwedru Fishtown Road last night.
You're laughing, but this is going to be a serious issue. Let me
ask the question. You know, some of you guys, anybody can answer. Why should our folk leave from here who claimed they were making a 6-figure salary and going to take $2,000 job in Liberia? Do you think it will be helpful for the country?
They want to serve their country.
No, Peabody. The fact that they were not making it. The fact that they were not making it.
No.
Ben just stuck it.
One at a time. I only had the right answer.
Let me ask you this. let me ask you this in return, right? Honestly, I want to serve my country at the appropriate time. But if anyone will offer me a job right now for $4,000, I'm not accepting it because the stage I am in my career right now, I don't think I'm in the stage to make any sacrifice for my country. So
the question is, why are those guys doing it though?
Why are you doing it?
Because they want to steal.
No, but this is the point, right? I always say this, right? It may sound childish, but I say if you want to prove that you actually make that amount of money, show us your pay stub. I mean, if I say I make this, it's so easy for me to show my pay stub.
No, we're not doing that.
No, we're not going that route.
No, but that's how you want to be.
That's the route we should go.
That's the route we should go. We should verify salary.
Even if you want to show your pay stub, you bring your
but you can verify salary. Yeah, you can verify salary.
There is
Give
no
us the authorization to verify salary.
life that we live. Somebody will be making a sales figure in the country and say they're going to pay your salary. What was
listen, I can't. Let me say this. I can only hold them by what they say, right? If someone says that they want to make the ultimate sacrifice to go home and serve their country, I can only take them by their word.
Ben, not a country. But you have a mortgage in America. You have a wife and kids in America.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
is you're gonna go back home and take a 80% pay cut, and you want to convince me that you're gonna pay your mortgage here and take care of your responsibility in Nigeria.
That's all the expectations to steal more money from the government so they can
we don't know what they're.
You don't
have other sources of income.
I don't want to believe that they will leave. I don't want to believe they will leave without a plan, right? We don't know what their plans are. We don't know what plans they have put in place. I'm not going to knock them. Look, at the end of the day, they want to serve. Let them go and serve their country. The only issue that I had with it, right, was some of the very same people casting aspirations on people who, because they didn't support their side, was saying that, oh, those people were not patriotic, right? Like if you support Cummings, then Cummings paying you to support him. If you support Weah, then you're unpatriotic, right? I don't subscribe to that. If you support President Joe Buckeye because you believe in his vision, you believe he's the best person to be able to transform the country. So I would never insult you or push you or think negative about you. If you want to go and serve, go ahead and serve and make that sacrifice that you claim you want to make to be able to serve your country. For me, it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but Ben,
I'm more focused, laser focused on what is happening from the top, because we know how important and how powerful the top is in Liberia. Look, these very people who are there, these very people who are there, if they go ahead and they do what they don't need, if they go ahead and get involved in things that they don't need to go ahead and get involved in, it will take the top to go ahead and fire them.
But
this is the thing, man.
What you say?
No, I said one of the things I see. You know, one of the reasons why we feel
some people keep back.
You know, one of the reasons. You know, one of the reasons why we feel.
Wait, Emric, please go on.
No, continue, Emric, continue.
I want to hear what Tomalin said.
Emric, continue. Emric, somebody already said.
One of the reasons.
I know, Emric, let me hear this.
One of the reasons why we feel.
You say what you are saying?
Emric, continue, sir.
One of the reasons why we feel as a nation, right? One of the reasons why we feel as a nation.
Emric, you really not going to listen to me this time around,
I know that I hope that gossip's on there. I'm not going to go there. One of the reasons why we feel as a nation, right? We don't push on integrity. To me, I would never ever have a problem with my job, sending a letter of verification on my salary. If I'm going to Liberia to sell myself and say, you know, this job, I need to get this amount of money because I need to take care of my family. And what I make back there, you know, I can verify it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with pushing for transparency in what we do. If we want to be in the public sector. So people will come and say, you know, I was making 200,000. It's illogical to say you make 150,000, 100,000 and go back there and say because of sacrifice for country, right? I will forgo my
People
bills.
people do take pay cuts for sacrifice.
Yeah, I do agree. I do
Yeah.
agree. No, that's not, I do agree.
There was basically a time Madam Salif introduced this process back home in the country, right? But again, for the recent time, the current president of the republic engaged our former finance minister and the former IMF and World Bank executive, and she said clearly that this time around she couldn't have the time to go and serve as Minister of Finance. Dr. Anthony said, if you are basically making more than the 6 figure or double that, there's a time the negotiation will come out. She said this time around she didn't have the time to do that and she didn't move. That's why Boyman Kamara was the second option and he was appointed minister. But it's clear. Madam Salif came up with a program via the UNDP concept at the time to allow those competent Liberian individuals in the diaspora to move into the country. That was the executive, the executive program. And UNDP pumped millions of dollars to compensate most of those people that were leaving their 6-figure job here. At the time, there was a clear-cut methodology new deployed. But now, I mean, it's quite unfortunate. If you were to go through the sector, the process about pay ban in Liberia, from the minister proper is around now 7,000. Take home is basically around 5,900. Deputy minister 3,000 and assistant minister 2,300, if you will.
So, Peter, can I ask a quick question though?
Yes.
You said there was a program put in place
at the time.
Where, the government will give a certain amount, and then there was
the
program.
UNDP, yes, the UNDP
to supplement.
So
to supplement that.
To supplement, yeah.
Definitely not a sacrifice because
yes.
to some extent it was not coming directly out of the government's budget.
Right.
It was so big. So
that is correct.
About
yes. So you see people like, for instance, my former boss John Molu, right? The EU took responsibility of his salary at the time. John Molu, and what the government did, the government took out the other petty issues and the rest of that. And it was all about the process. And Madam Salif was very strategic into doing that because she needed to attract competent people. But then our country was devastated, right? All of the structure of our government bureaucracy were all broken. So you needed to people with huge expertise to come, and they needed to be very independent. So you need to pay some for 10,000, 12,000, 8,000, 9,000. So if you are to leave a 6-figure job here, you get the same 6-figure salary, right? And some of the process, the negotiator of most of the international jobs, they reserve your post. After 1-2 years, you return to your job here. So that was the kind of process, Julia. So yeah, unlike what most of our comrades saying, and
right.
For instance, the deputy DEA boss saying you are getting 6-figure here and going to take 1,000.
Can't lead it, man.
I'm begging leader. Nobody call it.
No, I didn't call name. I said
we have to let our people know this.
You know,
Chris.
This is where me and Ben can butt heads, right? Ben would rather be professional. Ben would rather be professional and know.
And they were never professional. They were never professional.
Listen,
but here's the thing, right? Saying doesn't make him unprofessional. It's a professional.
No. What I'm saying, I'm not saying Pew is being unprofessional. What I'm saying here is Ben, he wants to hear these things, but then he want to come as though he's sympathetic with them and siding with them professionally. You know what I'm saying? Ben wants to hear you say this thing here.
Let me say this, Lofa. Let me say this. I think maybe just a few people. I have been a huge target,
right?
Some of these very people, right? Then living off of government. President, we are paying my rent. He paying father president, we are paying my dowry for my wife. I mean, I just name it, right? And I'm supporting we are because that. So look, for me, it's neither here nor there. I'm not worried about that. You know why I say that is because I know why I do what I do. I know why I did what I ended up doing, right? But I give them the benefit of the doubt because, like I said, I think the most noble thing any citizen can aspire to do is serve his country, serve his or her country. That's the most noble thing.
You see what he's saying now?
Thank you. This is. See, this is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but he's one person.
This is Joe Mandela.
He's one person, right? My thing is, like, okay, Peewee, you said the deputy DEA boss, Hassan Fadiga, right? Hassan clearly stated that he is on record for saying that he made a lot of money, or he was making a lot of money in the US. I don't know Hassan's current financial situation. Maybe he has a strong savings. Maybe he feels he's in a space where he can take a pay cut and go to Liberia and serve his country as Deputy Director General for DEA. Good for him. I salute him. All I ask for him to do is to do the job. Go there, give it your 100, and present yourself in a way where your people will be able to benefit from your service. It's not because they insulted me or insulted us, like you say, Peewee, right? Listen, I don't have time to do that.
Ben, I'm sorry. My daughter is in Cyprus University. She's paying good money there. My son at Georgia Tech University. I got my $3. They can soon be in college. I'm not gonna lie to you, so I go Liberia.
So I agree with you, Tomalin.
President we are asked me one man. He said, Tomalin, I said, President we are right now. I can't leave my daughters there in Liberia now because right now they are girls. They enter college now and right now I attach to my children. They can't lead them and say I go on Liberia. They can't say
and that is your story.
For love of country. That one I can't. So those who make
point, Ben.
love Liberia in Liberia because they love the country. They're all Vla talk.
No, it's not
Ben.
Vla.
Ben. 1 minute, Lofa. Ben, we have to be intentional. Ben, we have to be intentional here, right?
Thank you.
Let's be very blatant.
Yeah.
If we are moving to say we here to hustle for job, let's say we do need to hustle for political jobs. We shouldn't come and bluff here. Those kind of cosmetic way of doing things and the rest of it, I don't subscribe to them. If the belief is, listen, and it's not issue that when I came, I can recall when I came, the very time I interacted with George Lobo in Arizona, when I came here to school in 2015, I was very clear, there was an era we had in Baruch.
I heard he back now, right? In the station.
No, I don't know. I don't know. That's what the last time I communicated with him, then he was staying in Liberia. And I was very clear. I said to them, if my program going back to Liberia, we'll go run campaign for George Weah. If the George Weah to be the president of Liberia, we'll hustle to get job in government. But clear. I said no. The intent is so sometimes you gotta be intentional about this process.
Guys, can we please take calls from people back home to get a reaction to this budget?
Lofa is making maybe 10 figure now. Maybe you'll go against the job.
I wish I'll make it 10 figure.
Well, maybe to be done at Lofa, and then you need a 10 figure. Go test to be done at Lofa. Come on.
You know, we can't now.
No. Go back there. Guy will do that. Doing that. You Lofa.
Galashi.
Now, my idea can.
You're going to full line. So it's confirmed now. President Boga said in the first 100 days, no car will get stuck. The Minister of Education, the public relation officer there confirmed that on LBA this morning that the minister did get stuck in a
So it's confirmed?
She reached, the public relation officer MOE said that she reached Freetown around 1 a.m. this morning. So President Boga kind of got stuck in the highway.
And that's our renew. Lofa can Europa, hey, come in, what's up?
Take it from the video back. Let's stop with the video back first, Tomalin. Guys, mute yourselves, please. Mute yourselves.
And so you can take calls, eh?
Henry, can you hear us?
Oh, so that was they say when you go on Spoon, you get jobs. So that everybody
go. So you come back home and use the internet to hustle for jobs.
But what happened to my man Remy Ellison? Remy been on Spoon for a long time now.
Man, the country.
My uncle been there for a long time now. My uncle Remy been there for a long time.
The country.
000077635.
Everybody hustling.
The Boston call will be live on the posting document here. 000077635 is the number to call, and then you're going to be live. So let's call. Hello. How are you?
And even why you join us?
I'm joining you from Liberty. I thanks all the panelists on the show, for the show throughout all the time. Everybody over there, whatever you're saying is true, my brother. But there's something that happening in that country that we all know. Mr. Ben Sanvee, Mr. Tomalin, everyone of you can able to work in this country. You know this country, you know how this country is rich. But the problem that's there, the management is what the problem is. Somebody can work in this country and make money. And then the thing is, it's not be like in America for you. As I said, go in America. So the way the thing is, this is where the problem is. You will know that. Everyone of you for the one year, you know, over there, you know, I don't know, this country is rich. But the problem that they're taking up on the management aspect. Hey man, look at just do their own when it comes across. Economics that we're talking about, you don't know. Although some of you are not economics, but you must know that this country, the way you understand money in America there, if you are your things will improve. So as I was supposed to know that it is the country that is now resolved. It is the management aspect for me I'm looking at. And we also have graduates that we need to when we start monitoring how this country goes, the way the country is going, this is problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you so kindly. 077017635 is the number to call, and you're going to be live to make your point. 077017635. This call. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Your name from where you join us?
Well, this is Aaron Zimoria there.
Okay, Ron. Go ahead. 1 minute.
So, I need to look for that. What does it mean that he was sacrificing the country? If a woman stuck on you, stuck on you, sacrifice you, give bulk of dollars in the United States. So you keep that sacrifice.
Yo, people call jokes here, right? So tonight come this show.
So this caller, how are you? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I will not keep you in line. You have to lower your monitor. I will not keep you in line. We got up on the line and want to make their point. 077017635 is the number to call, and then you're going to be live. So this caller. Hello?
Yeah,
how are you? Your name from where you join us? Okay, go ahead. There's not Spoon FM. You see, like the other time I told you guys, this is not Spoon FM, this is Truth FM. And the closing argument is Ben relay on this program by our panelists there. For all of these guys you see here, they were on Spoon before, they were on the Spoon Talk. So now they are on the closing argument. Please. So this caller.
Yeah, my name is Elnush Colley and I call from Finsville.
Okay, make your point.
I'm disappointed in the Finance Minister Paman Kamara. He was very big on the changing of system of budget when he was campaigning. But surprisingly, he submitted a budget with 93% on recurrent expenditure and 7% on PSRP. PSRP is what will drive the economy and move the economy forward.
Yeah, the private sector.
If we have got from the Ministry of State or whatever, but when you see compensation alone is around 297 million. So Paman Kamara, that budget just should do all they can to reject that budget and restructure it that reflect the happiness of the Liberian people and the aspiration of the Liberian people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 077017635. We'll take just 3 more cards and then we'll go back to the panelists. So
How would the Senate refuse that budget? American is yet to declare his answer.
No, I'm not keeping it alive. I'm not getting you. You come in broken.
say I'm Jack about cost for District 15.
Okay, Jack from District number 15.
Yes.
Make your point.
Anyway, thanks a lot. You know, we just have to get this for the next 6 years. But if you are coming to net of 25, net of personally, I was not doing 100%. The little that he was doing, let me tell you this, any little you do for me, I really want to work. Appreciate it. I can appreciate the little that you give to me. A lot of men out there will not appreciate it. Personally, we are 3 times the hormone that we were for the better for my people. We always talk to that. Now what your country can do for you, or what you can do for your country. So you have to make the sacrifice. And they went all say, we are hormone that. Forgetting the Lola, they were hormone Nazi, or the parent one of our party, or hormone Nazi. And when you hormone Nazi, this is what we get. So like just day and move for, I can tell them, my brother, pray that God with you every morning. You move on your feet, sweat, okay, he can provide for you. But if you say you training for government to come and get you here, my brother, sorry, you'll die on the street. That's what we vote for, that's what we get.
Okay.
And most of the pastors, some of the pastors that were being open black, what he used the war is better and better with the devil than to be. And the top of the new to see who will come against the devil. And some of our Muslims that said for the 5 people today, they didn't want to. Some of them have also to until the current. Well, open black use the war, so they say that analyze that no, they people have to tell devil, everybody people have to tell God in a positive way. But people that choose to go to the devil, so we'll live for the devil for 6 years. 6 years. Thank you.
Okay, while living with the devil, we are already there. But the argument is open. 770-176-35 will take just 2 more, and then we'll go back. To this caller. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
How are you?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is Sam. I am following from my Luginda resident.
Okay, Sam, make your point.
Okay, then thank you for the opportunity. Let me say thank you to the other parties for the analysis. We told the Liberian people, most especially when it comes to women job workers, the women have no success story. We told them there are other competent Liberians besides President George Weah. The best thing you can do for this country, you have people that come with other people. If you don't let George Weah, why still bring no people on board in order to have the country going forward? It's what is happening. It's what is happening. The whole country is in disarray. There's been no signs of good government in the on ground. See the practice of this community. That law is finished. You brought a budget. Why are you giving 1.5 million to people who already have on mind that the former president or the former government were corrupt? Before one way. Always starting a corner where he had who said money got missing, President we are the all President we are going to official were corrupt. Then you brought some like matching. Who because he left the LCC, he had that greed. Is that the independent people? If you want to fight corruption, the issue of crime, economic crime, has no statute of limitation. Say you are still a woman job worker, you wanted the opportunity 2017 was not given to you. It has been given to you now. Why you go back to 2005? All of the money that got missing at the time, look how well Ben rough. Isn't that grateful money? Can you give the agriculture, honor your own agenda, agriculture come first? 5 million. There are assessment. You give me back tractor. You are talking about local farmer empowerment. It's a total bluff. We sit in there, we told our people. They will not do well. They wouldn't be the fighting our job. What kind of president in the world you expect?
Thank you.
Somebody carrying noise to you. Say no, it's a mistake.
Thank you so much. I'll hold you there and then pick up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. you. 077701765 will take the very last call to go back to the team there.
I got 2 callers on the line over here, guys.
Were you out?
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Our last caller. The name from where you join us.
Yeah, this is John.
Okay, make a point. 1 minute, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, my brother, why we look how we got it already? Yeah, we got it already. And we're still inside because we got to bear with it. Now, you know, the presidency, when you don't get contact, you don't push it. But President, we are gaining power. It took too long. He started breaking credit. Oh, what is that money for? The first thing the man did was the France government get a credit, first 10 million. And he started breaking credit around here. But our brother, my brother, from the time to the Baga, he got president up to now. Nobody to come to our aid to use your father. So, but we get one time in the country to say, as soon as we say the country, tell the president, we still have to start moving with the Prince Johnson. When we tell Prince Johnson to the American people, maybe our economy will improve. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so kindly. That's it.
All right, we got a couple callers on the line here. We'll take 2 callers on the line here. Breakable Power, go ahead.
When I sit down and listen to that, and I even listen to stuff, social or real station back home, I feel like we are getting somewhere else that is really will be hard for us to sit. You know, listen, when you're not prepared to gain power, you're not prepared to be seen by it, and your opportunity becomes it's difficult to handle. But that's what I'm saying. I listen to now the police director started to make a law. Taking all vehicles, very heavy vehicles on the street, and even all gas stations like now America or Total gas station, those minimum gas station, you not be on the street. They should this morning. Can you just imagine? Maybe they just get a statement because of plane. You just make a statement, what a clip out takes 2 months now, just make a statement. Making statement without a plane, without a policy, without why or how. Just make a statement. And they don't understand. And they just seen a certain policy on the opposition or the CSA government. These guys, they know what they're doing, or they just because they want me, so they say this, or they want to do this.
Thank you.
When you go to say something, they don't say in the way that people want to say, and you mean it. You set up a meeting that you're going to investigate things. Or no investigation will come up. You complain about citizens in the city. You can't do more. Why are we here?
Thank you. Thank you, Breakable. Let's check out next caller. Caller from 763, last 4 is 7242. Caller your name and where you calling from. Elvis, welcome to the show. Let's hear from you, boss man.
Thank you. Look, I just want to, say sorry to Judge Lofa. I see your things, what I did to the man out there. Let us suffer for the youth in this country. There are a lot of stigmas. Even shared some hurting things that some of his friends in the southeast, those that follow in that country. There's some hurtful things all in the name of unity party, and for them to just do what they do to the man is a sorrowful thing. Maybe there's a part holding that grudge as missing when you were caught on the mic telling about what to say, so maybe about should have given the man forgive easily, so maybe still holding that against him. Well, on the question of why do people leave the United States and go back to Liberia to look for jobs, look, I said in the comments. People want the prestige. They want to become minister. They want to be giving all the attention. Most of us that work on the side, nobody coming to get directorship or even managerial position in your company. Nobody will be looking at you when you go to Walmart or go buy food. But anyway, you go for it. And then plenty of you come with it also, all the women that come up. So that's some of the benefits that people are looking for when it comes to jobs.
All right. Thank you. We got one more caller on the line. Caller your name and where you calling from. 347 last 4. Oh, that caller hung up. All right, guys, I'm gonna get up the phone line here. Yeah, let's go ahead. I think that's it.
Yeah. Tomalin, we're ready.
Okay, guys, we're all done, right? Yeah. So, guys, we're just gonna now discuss what's on your mind, and so we can call it a day, right? What's on your mind?
Yeah. Let me start so I can to do. What's on my mind? Yes, I think the caller alluded to it. I wanted to talk about it. I saw a police circular from our friend Moses Carter. Surprised Moses Carter is still the spokesperson of the police.
Job.
Yeah, I'm surprised. So I think Gregory kept him there. I was surprised that somebody didn't have their eye on that job.
No, somebody else already. I think I'm hearing that somebody coming.
Okay. Well, now, you see, now I can't caught up on the main job. There you go. Poor Moses. But yeah, I saw a circular saying that I think they will. Anybody who's driving cars on the right hand side, no longer should go on the streets. Nobody's selling gasoline on the side of the road. Should sell on the side of the road. Literally, all kekes should have insurance. These are all good things. I think the next thing will be. I think they should. One of the things I've been hearing that they're going to be doing is that they're going to ban motorcyclists from flying the main streets and going into the community. Something which was the policy under the previous Unity Party government. So we'll wait to see what happens with the implementation of that. What's on my mind also is the national budget. I think the national budget is a joke. I'm waiting to see what they do with it. I'm waiting to see how they and the reason I call it a joke is not because CDC budget was perfect. It's not that, but they campaigned that they were going to do things differently. They campaigned that they were going to do things, they were going to have a more effective and a more robust national budget. What's on my mind is that the president is the agriculture president, and he only got $5 million in his budget for agriculture. What's on my mind is that the president campaign, he said, they had a famous campaign song. Grace was, we gave you 6 years and you brought Kush and we're going to rescue you from Kush. I have not heard anything whatsoever. No plan, no program. I only heard the president name a sectoral committee and took a drug test with his vice president. I don't know whatever has happened to other officials of government taking drug tests. What's on my mind? Since the president declared his assets, he has not published it. The vice president declared his asset, he has not published it. No other minister of government. We haven't seen that. It started with this fanfare where these ministers were declaring their assets and posting it. Oh, we just declare our asset. It has turned into another situation where it's like a Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, right? They drink Coca. Then you shake it, you put it the full, and then it just comes down. We're back to business as usual. This is one of the reasons why Liberians were warned in 2023. That if you don't want George Weah, Unity Party is not the way to go. We were warned. These people were warned. They told them. And so I don't know, I'm not going to have any sympathy. Let me just state for the record, this is my last thought. I'm not going to have any sympathy for anybody complaining about Unity Party administration. I'm not, especially those who support the Unity Party. I'm not going to have any sympathy whatsoever for them. Because at the end of the day, this is what you sign up for. I think the president will get a chance to do what he feels that he has to do, and let's wait and see. It's just unfortunate that the country is going to stay stuck, and we're going to be having this conversation 6 years again down the road. That's what's on my mind.
What's on my mind? Thank you, Ben. What's on my mind is I heard the caller saying that we would just wake up in the morning and we will just look up to God and just turn around. And, he said something like that. But everybody have the right to be born in a country where you will have dreams and aspirations and you will have a vision for your life. It can come to fruition, depends on the country you are born in. So even the countries that are around us, people still living their dreams. And majority of the people, although they got poor people in those countries, but it is not as bad as it is in Liberia. What is on my mind is that UP plagiarized, the UP government, they plagiarized CDC executive order. Just how they went, and they were on website to website. They stole all that money by playing official and he think he have for his campaign. They stole all from his website and put it on their website. When they posted that, getting behind it for website. That's some of the things that on my mind. What on my mind? I hope and pray that you put strong laws and you try to purchase or you denounce that budget in the legislature so that you can have more money allotted for the safety and security of our people, or else people will not be coming to the country to invest. What's on my mind the last one is that y'all look into tourism. It could bring more benefit to our country. Thank you.
What your mind?
Yeah, I would take it up from here. I think I got two or maybe or 2.5 things on my mind. But I will first start with this issue about the fire incident across Monrovia and its environment. It's a very critical thing, and I would think that the management of the Liberian Fire Service Authority should put into place a kind of a fire safety routine for most of our residents. It is on the book. We have to adhere to those fire safety processes and the rest of it. I would think it is about time we begin the process of educating and trying to spread across the country some major issue to teach our people how to engage, how to manage their homes, and to prevent the fire, the ABC tactics of about it, and we should deploy all of the resources we have. And I'm not saying much support, unfortunately, for the Liberian Fire Service in the budget. I think it's unfortunate we will have to put into place, and the fire service will have to deploy that every homes in the country. That's part of the law. The act that created the National Fire Service Agency is clear. It's clearly enshrined into that act that every home should have fire extinguisher. Every vehicle, moving vehicle, should also have same. But we don't have that because we've been having some issue about interest on who would do the importation of the fire extinguisher, and the issue about that as to how we're going to allot say contract. That's one of the major things on my mind. I would think that the government and through the legislature will a lot more support to the fire service institution, and communities, dwellers, and community members should set up this scheme about educating ourselves onto how to protect our homes for the issue of fire. Another thing on my mind, and let me comment this time, I may have another thought process about this issue about the new police chief intent to change a lot of things into the street, and that bring about safety also. This process about we will always say our streets in Monrovia, sometimes major boulevards, the on the street in our region, you see car crisscrossing, people using the tail lane and the rest of that. Motorcyclists would come and hit you, and in no time they're out. I seriously support the police chief new policy here onto that. I would hope that should be implemented. I was a victim of it recently in Monrovia. The guy ran, just bust my wing and my tail light. And in no time, he left. So that's one of the things. I support the police chief on this process. I will hope that they should be very, very much committed in trying to. There should be no sugar darling support for any individual of high personality. It should be implemented. Nobody should place a call if the motorcyclist is being pounded. No one should place a call from a higher level to have it released and the rest of that implemented. Another situation, if there should be no gas station, those gas stations that are those misshaped gas stations that are built in alleyways, because our zonal law should be implemented. We should adhere to our municipality law of our country. It is important. If we want to see change, we will have to now begin the process of respecting the rule of law. We don't have system. We don't respect system. So, Mr. Police Director, Mr. IG, rather, I support this process, and I will hope that you implement it. This should not be issue about, it's another thing about living. That's not no poverty thing. You're not putting no one into poverty. If you violate the zonal law of our country, it should be implemented. We should enforce that process of the law. So, Ben, I do support that actually on the most serious note, and I hope because
no, I support it. I'm supported.
Salif came before, Judah Manasali came before. You know, the thing about Liberian leader, and Manasali said this. He said, if this thing is the same Liberian leader coming to do this, our leaders are good at coming to say, hey, we pronounce this partisan implementation process. In no time, it dropped along the line. But if you implement this issue, it said no motorbike is allowed, keke is allowed on the Tomalin Boulevard, on our major boulevard. Implement that. Let's see it unfold. Other than that, it's a very good thing. That's what on my mind. Let's have a very wonderful good evening to all of our folks. Thank you.
Eric.
Yeah, what's on my mind? I'm going to be brief. President Boyka said Madam Erin Johnson Sirleaf brought a lot of PowerPoint ministers into the country during her tenure, right? But now we're seeing not only PowerPoints ministers go, but we see people who don't even know how to do PowerPoints, right? So we see the contrast there. You criticize Madam Sirleaf for bringing people that were not competent. And we know the list of people that were brought into the country during Madam Sirleaf's tenure. Competent people. People listed, most of them on this show. Another thing that's on my mind, the whole asset recovery is a complete mess, a complete failure. Like if you look at countries that we are homogeneous to, like Sierra Leone, you see the asset recovery is with the anti-corruption commission, right? I think they should have put placed that asset recovery team with one of the commissions that are responsible for corruption and give it some empowerment. Another thing I see that the disintegration, disorganization in this government, I'm still hopeful that things will change around. But knowing the person, what I saw as a litmus test in a CPP with President Boyka, I don't think it's going to get better because he's this person who just does not have it. I don't care how people go and say those good things about him. It's not about what you say, it's the action or the actions of the person that are going to prove the worth of that person, not about what you say about the person. I'm not saying that President Boyka is not a leader, but for today's Liberia and the future of Liberia, I don't think he's the right person to run that country because he's being detected by other people, his surrounding, and other people have much influence over him. He does not have control over the leadership. So thanks to everyone, and you all have a blessed rest of the evening.
Oh, quickly, people, they call in quickly, Lofa. They say that rescue loon style. Is it rescue?
People,
Say JMB rescue loon style.
People, I got a message for you in our private chat room. Please read it, Pew.
Okay.
Everybody finished with it. Well on the mind, right?
Yeah.
Really? Everybody finished?
Yeah, we done.
Really? I thought Lofa was going to contribute, but I guess Emmerich don't want Lofa to charm me tonight.
No,
right?
Come in, Lofa.
You said everybody done.
Oh, no, you there.
Nah, it's okay, Emmerich. But
I don't even know if I'm in the chat room again.
On a very serious note, you know, why it is true that we can share jokes here and there about the reality on ground. I don't think our people who are going through all of these pain and agony at this point, even though they made a decision, they made a conscious decision to put themselves in this calamity, I don't think they find it funny when they have to go to bed at night and have to deal with the heat. I don't think they find it funny when they have to go to bed at night and worry as to whether if they have to call fire service, there will be one to save the life of one Liberian. And here we are listening to a group of people who thought they needed to rescue themselves, either because of their failed careers in the United States, and they felt like they needed to go somewhere that would not give them that structure where they would be regulated and monitored so they would not have to steal, and they can easily get away with how much they steal and, just live flamboyantly. Our people are suffering. This is not a joke. Look, if you are to take upon yourself, just simply do us due diligence. Just start to monitor how often you hear of fire incidents and how many people's lives are at risk. We will not make any joke of the current situation in Liberia. The people are dying. The issue of health care, okay? Security in Liberia, something that all of us frowned at the previous government about. We said President Weah refused to engage the people of Liberia. As a matter of fact, we reference President Weah as the Bobo president. For Christ in heaven's sake, when's the last time we heard from Honorable Boykai? There was an elderly woman who was beaten and killed in Chocolate City. Have you heard Honorable Boykai address that issue? Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. She's not related to him. I don't think so. Maybe her life is just not as important as that of his relative, because I remember when President Boykai was elected, he sent his son to seek medical attention for drugs addiction, allegedly, to be politically correct, if that's help. Yeah, he sent his son. I'm not hearing the force or the fight on drugs and rehabilitation anymore. You know what we're hearing now? We're hearing how can we shield our assets declaration from the people? Those who told us to manage our expectation, the likes of Amara Kane and other people who came and pretended to be men of integrity, can no longer disclose to the public their assets. If it was declared, nobody know. If it wasn't, well, it's up to you to go to the soothsayer to find out. We have a bunch of pretenders who are claiming to be in the interest of Liberian. There's a bill today, okay, that's supposed to be discussed in the War and Economic Crimes Court. Your lawbreakers are doing everything to stall the process. How does that represent the interests of the people? Honorable Boycott is still sitting supinely, quietly. But for that reason, I would say this to you: if I would not get the vote of my brother Joma Jala to serve as a superintendent in Lofa County, so let it not be. People will vote for me. I'm pretty sure people will vote for me to serve as a superintendent
I will.
in Lofa County, right?
I will.
But until we can experience some level of, good governance from the Unity Party government, I don't care how many of your people who insulted some of us and called us names, but then are being rejected and sent back to the states. Even if you don't give them jobs, we still believe that you should govern and govern accordingly. We are not equal professionally. What about age? Anywhere, I don't care how big you are. We are not equally equal. Respect what we bring to the table. Thank you.
Okay, one of mine. First of all, Ben, the Minister of Public Works says, I'm gonna tell you that I tell all he said he will be on closing argument soon. He said, I still hold my panelist status and can reactivate at any time.
Oh, yes, that's when.
So the man said he's still part of it.
Okay, come on back, brother.
Darrell, you gotta be careful that that's how you come on this show.
So how he coming? As he coming as minister or panelist?
He coming as panelist / minister.
But let me commend this boy. He's in Zweju, Samuka Keita from Smart FM. He's doing what he does is that every morning after our show, he plays on his show in Zweju.
Oh, wow.
In Sino, in River G. I mean, he plays the repeat of this show on his show and throughout the Southeast there. He's doing a great job. And Samuka, as I said, let's continue to do what you're doing. And I'm telling you, there are great things that will come to pass.
Samuka, thank you.
Yeah, and also there's a release from I gotta read this for the release for this yes, what they call it? The Liberian, how they call it? The Liberian the women, okay, yes. The Liberian women, how they call themselves? Let me read it good. Okay. The Liberian Women Forum, LWF, has issued a call for the dampening of escalating political rhetoric in the country. As an advocacy group focused on women's welfare, the LWF emphasizes that such tensions do not bode well for ordinary citizens, especially women and children. When politicians engage in fighting, it undermines the well-being of the population they are meant to serve. In recent times, Liberia has witnessed heightened political discord, with citizens expressing dissatisfaction across various sectors. The LWF, in a statement, highlighted the government's responsibility for the safety of all Liberians, regardless of their status. Consequently, the LWF urges the government to take decisive action to prevent the situation from spiraling out of control. Madam Kari Coleman-Pote, president of the Liberian Women Forum, also expressed concern about the prevailing political climate. We of the Liberian Women Forum are concerned with the kind of political tension in the country. If you listen to the radio or watch the internet talk shows, you hear a list of grievances from all walks of life. While all of this is important for our democracy, Madam Post strongly condemns speech that fosters division among Liberians and has the potential to incite violence. The LWF calls on the government, President Boyka, to listen to the people and create an inclusive environment, while acknowledging that the government is still in its early stages. That's the president of Liberian Women Forum, Madam Kari Pote, speaking. So, very strong statement from the Liberian Women Initiative president, Madam Kari Coleman Pote. But guys, look, and besides that, We the issue about the issue about the central bank. Let me clarify. The central bank that continual stuff is not true. The 54th legislature passed they passed resolution to print more money, but because of the election, they wanted to influence the election. They never brought all the new printed bank notes in the country. So, but during the transition, there's a letter. I even got a letter that they sent to President Boyka. Yeah, they told him about the governor told him about exactly what they were doing. So that the money will after that the money will come in the country after the government takes it. So the money you saw coming through the container. It wasn't like anything like that's happening with the central bank. I want to make sure you clarify that. Go ahead, Chairman.
No, I want to say I want to thank the Liberian Women Forum. It's a reputable organization. We know they have some strong women as a part of that forum. Women from diverse background, business, politics. It's one of those independent and credible organizations that when they speak, you know they're not speaking from a position of biasness, right? They have also, and I want to thank them for their statement. I thought the statement was very strong. On highlighting the fact that there needs to be a temper down of the rhetoric, especially from the government side. When you're in power, I used to say this to the CDC people all the time. When you in power, you the one got everything to lose, right? It's almost like you're taking a hammer and you're trying to kill an ant with it. The EPS director writing statements on Facebook, those are things that are not called for. So I agree with the Women's Forum, and I want to thank them for their service to the country. They have done a lot of work they've done. I know they've been involved with. Last time they paid the medical bill for 30 new mothers at JFK. The last time they also went ahead and they opening business incubators for Liberian business women to improve their life by providing them small funds to open little businesses. So this is an organization that is reputable, and that's one of the reasons, I'm not talking about no side organization when they, that are just looking for attention when they speak. These are responsible women who are very strong, independent women, financially capable. They don't depend on government for anything. So when they speak, we get a chance to listen. And we just want to say to them that we will do our part on the closing argument to elevate the discussion and to elevate the discourse as we engage. Even though sometimes it gets a little dicey, but we do our best on this platform to stay responsible and not to inflame the country. But I thought to just back up by you reading that statement, I thought it was a very strong statement.
To you, Harris, I want to say to you again our condolences to your family. I know this weekend you'll be burying your brother. David Von der Harris will be buried this weekend in Maryland. The church will be at the Glenmont United Methodist Church in Silver Spring. Hopefully, I may attend it because it all depends on my schedule. But I'm sure I'll be able to make that funeral. And then on the weekend of April 5th. We'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina. Our dear friend and brother, Aaron Dubai Jr. Bello, who was one of our regular viewer of this show. Yes, show religiously. We lost Bello on my birthday, Saturday, and so we'll be laid to rest in Charlotte. And I can tell you, he and his mother on the same day. So sad. So I know Ben. Yeah, Ben, y'all should get ready for that time. That weekend, we said Charlotte will come down because. Everybody I talked with, the Liberian people will be, because Bello was a great man. He was present, so I expect to see. Julius, you in Raleigh?
He's in Raleigh.
I'll drive to Charlotte.
Lofa, actually, I come in to Raleigh tomorrow.
Okay.
I
hope you enjoy us that weekend.
No, I'm coming to Raleigh tomorrow for I have a contract with the State Employees Credit Union over there.
Yeah. Really? Which one?
Yeah, I have a project.
Which one is it, downtown?
The office they give me.
Is it Jones Street? If it's on Jones Street, the State Employee Credit Rep below my office.
I think it's the head office. It's the head office.
Well, then let's do lunch because then you're coming right in my building because it's Red
Bull. Creedmoor Road.
Oh, you're on Creedmoor Road. Okay, well, that's still not far from it. Let's do lunch then.
Okay, so I'll call you. Yeah, I have a.
We'll be announcing our presidential candidate for 2029. We'll be announcing him in the next.
So I'll call you when I get in.
Okay.
It's just formality. It's the beginning. I'm just going
to new progressive man, Peabody. Our presidential candidate for 2029.
Oh yeah. We starting the process.
Eugene Nambwe announced that President we will be on the ballot.
So how do we submit our names
for the
presidential candidate?
Not contesting time.
My man, I think talking man. No, you're not contesting. Don't pull
words. Oh no, we're announcing our presidential candidates.
Ben, 2029 not going to be a new beginning.
No, new beginning.
Landslide.
Ben. 2029 not going to be a new beginning.
I was waiting to hear from Moneyba. I was waiting to hear from Moneyba and his crew, but now in 2029, I didn't hear from them. I'm confused now.
My man, I align with the CDC politically. I'm aligning with the CDC politically. Very clear.
I'm talking about. We say align.
Of course. I'm aligning with the CDC.
Yeah, because I was just saying something because the president, he's saying that he won't enjoy himself young, so he said he won't be the thing now.
What's
up, former CDC chairman Molu? What's always stand? I agree with Stan.
Yes, Stan. I think Molu a very powerful she stand the past weekend.
How is it that you guys are yet to discuss what's this guy the professor's resignation?
Who? Lester Tenney.
Lester Tenney.
But why should discuss about?
I just want to know why we're not discussing.
Listen, people resign from party all the time. We wish
listen to
the context in which he resigned.
Lester has always been a maverick. Lester has always been a maverick.
Yeah. Look at the reason he stated that. I can't come in respond to.
My man. No, listen.
He says this dude don't even count.
For me, I won't disparage Lester. He's been a maverick. He has his thoughts. He's entitled to his opinions. He's entitled to his feelings, and I respect him for that. I wish him well. We wish him well in his new journey. He's still going to be politically active. You never know. You may meet Lester down the road somewhere. You never know. Listen, my politics nowadays is to be very.
Ben, I saw a picture. That the guy pre-journey said he wasn't going to support that guy.
Is that a new picture though, or is it old? I think that's an old picture.
You sure?
I think that's an old picture. I will find out from Koga.
He said because the man said you're talking about.
I will find out from Koga, but I think that's an old picture.
I'm inclined. I may be wrong. That recent picture there, Ben.
You think it's recent?
Yeah.
Very inconsistent.
Yeah, but because
PYJ is already reactive, and you don't trust
him. You him blasting Koga on the audio, in fact. So
on the audio, yeah, blasting Koga.
And then he also blasted at Yan Twain, but he was standing with Yan.
He said, he's out for the politics. You don't respect me.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest, though. Anybody on this platform here, okay, with the exception of Tomalin, really believe anything Prince Johnson says? Let's be honest. That's out of just honesty. I'm just asking because it said you hit man. Ben, you believe what you said?
I mean, I know my position with Prince Johnson, man. I think I'm on too many records when it comes to Prince Johnson.
Look, I bet you.
But Prince Johnson, don't get me wrong.
He's the most erratic Nigerian politician.
Is it my son Ben? My son Ben?
Prince Johnson, my papa, we check our fundamental disagreement.
But Mayu, he's strategic. He's erratic, but sometimes he can be very strategic.
Look. He's going to whoever he supports in that process is going to win.
Yeah.
Whether you agree or not.
Yeah.
There's so many ways Prince Johnson can sabotage somebody's candidacy. Prince Johnson has his network in place. He just needs to activate that network, send the message across, and that network will go in full spin. That is the sad reality.
But my advice for the Bwaka administration, they posted the ambassador to Bwaka. The woman flew from America, the woman came here. The woman told Bwaka, say, yeah, I love the meeting I had with you with the War Crimes Code. But then all of a sudden they go to the Senate. They start the plane.
No, but in all fairness, Dominic, in all fairness to the Senate say they sent it to the Judiciary Committee. They will be back. They're on recess right now, right? Let them come back. They will put it back on the floor. Because you know why I believe they will put it on the floor? Let me tell you why I believe they will put it on the floor. Because in Prince Johnson Prince Johnson said, we're coming to debate it on the floor. That's what he said. You heard him clearly. He said, we're about to debate it on the floor, so I need somebody, because the election is in when? When is the election? April, right? April. So the new senator will be seated for the when they come back from the break.
Watch those the senators and watch each of them because
they will debate it.
They playing. But you know, again, since the budget now coming past now, things have been changing like bro. Right now, everybody being broke.
Yeah.
When that budget pass, don't forget it. As the whole blast story coming change.
I'm afraid that whole war crime thing will get stored in the Senate.
By popular demand, we are hearing for folks.
I'm afraid. That's what I'm saying. I'm afraid.
I think Henry should give us the closing statement. Henry,
most of the influential people in our Senate.
Henry, get off your phone. People say you should put us up.
They are angry. They are angry with some international partners, right? So that's
when you know all of them work in America. When they deny the US visa, they know.
When they get an airport to say, there will just be some time they'll get tired and say for something about this. Okay, yeah, we have to do it. And the more time you press them, they get frustrated and be adamant, right?
Right.
So I would think America should also be strategic. If you don't be strategic, that's what most of our country, the country in the region now, the geopolitical problem is moving on. America will have to be very strategic as to how you engage Liberia, because you don't want Liberia to start having a mindset to start going the other way around.
So
like Guinea is doing in other countries.
Let me go back to the Liberian national team, the Lone Star.
We won.
The President Boga first national victory as a president on a Lone Star.
Right, we won.
Picture on sports. President Boga, your Lone Stars, man, you're getting the credit. They won.
Are they rescue Lone Stars?
Yeah, what the final score?
2-0, eh?
But they play Morocco.
No, they play in Marrakesh.
They play in Djibouti.
Marrakesh, Morocco.
Oh, really?
Okay, no, but that was Chubrutu home game. So we're playing next in the next 2 days in Morocco.
In Monrovia. Okay.
That new coach there in Korea.
No, but the team didn't perform too well.
Let's not start with the whole thing. We got it now.
Right now, nobody
this is the first game. This Djibouti. Just whatever the team is.
Even during real time, we want to beat.
Thank you. Based on the record. Based on the record.
As I heard right now, everybody's outgoing party right now. The Lone Star have not won a game since 2022.
You see?
But the reality here is this: the team they are playing, and we go based on records. Okay, we go based on record. As an athlete, I know we also consider record, so we can't simply say, "Oh, because
right now."
Let them come back home. Let them come back home and win. Thank you. Then we can say, yeah. Then we can say honorable boycott presence on the field matters, because I heard he won the field. He shook the boys' hands.
On the field today, do?
No, not on the field today, though. I heard he won the practice ground and shook their hands.
Well, here's the thing. They requested
this is the real sport-loving president, not a president where he signed your order and sent letters to the boys.
Here's the thing. The Lone Star requested $322,000 for this game. For both games, Joseph Boakai gave them $40,000 as an initial payment. Hear me out. I've been told. I didn't come out with this yet because I've been told that the president said that because they were working on the budget, they could not pull forth the full $322,000. However, they will get the rest of that money this week.
Wow.
So we're waiting now for Lone Star to return to Liberia, especially after this win, for them to get the money, because they say if Lone Star qualify, each of the boys will get $5,500.
But you see why I told you my uncle is not an ordinary person. Support this man and you'll not regret it.
I cannot support
Nigeria, Ghana. You can play Lone Star now with the best.
No, but we need more professional players. Tomalin, I don't trust the local boys. You're not you want to go look what?
Ben, I can bet you better.
You're not going to close up, Harry.
Like, bro, the best right now will be anything I can't cross off.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Good night, guys.
Yeah, man. Y'all leave me away. They will lose tomorrow. Then it's not considered.
At the hell out. Jim Rescue Lone Star.
Okay.
Who's going to go out, bro?
Two professional players, Oscar Dolo and Mohamed Sangar.
Oh, that's an Harry Bond score before.
Yeah. He plays in the
And I think this all the time we have to be here on the program, the closing argument. It has been very, very much fascinating, educative, and informative. Let me say many thanks to the team there, Hot FM 107.9 for reading this program, and the team there at 296.1 in Nima County, Sakapié for also reading this program, and all affiliate radio stations. Let me say many thanks to the technical department here at the Renaissance Communication Incorporated for also putting hands together to make sure that this job is well done. For the on behalf of the team, my name is Henry Jara. Do have a pleasant good night.